got a chubby on the dance floor. Give me that visual, looking at the tie-tie, shaking like my rock guys, dancing to the south side, merengue, chasing down with E&J, take another shot as we lapping up this bar, getting down like we both is getting off, full hard, never soften, never love lost as I take you to the top, tipping top, slide back down the bottom of my car, sex game official, make the yaya whistle, more than 2 fistfuls, slob, choke, all up on my dick, I want you to damn near puke on my shit, bitch, now you and your girl switch, damn I got a chubby, love the way you touch me, ride it all night, love the way you fuck me, bend it over, push it back, make the kitty cat go, clap, 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 man, I got this chubby, what you gon' do with this chubby? I said man, I got this chubby, what you gon' do with this chubby? What you gonna do with this chubby? What you gonna do?
All Niter, street meds. Yeah. Cold nights got me thinking about the way things change. Snowfall on the window while I fight this pain. Heart froze like the city in the deep blue haze. Try and find a little light in these darker days. Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yo, I've been doing this since 98. Step up to me, I just annihilate. I rep 508, even though they all hate. I know why, it's cause I got a bigger plate. Hate, it just gas up the engine, gives me more fuel every time I'm not mentioned. Heart froze like the city in a deep blue haze, trying to find a little light in these darker days. Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yeah, these winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? What up, everybody? It's your boy Aaron All Niter.
It's your boy FiF in the building.
This is the Pop-Up Podcast, episode 11. Make sure you share this out of your news feed, share this to groups, tag people in the post, tag people in the comment section, send this out to people in Messenger, all of that. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world, what's going on with some crazy shit. We started this off with some music to get you people in the building, get you loosened up, get you ready to go. We are streaming this on multiple platforms, multiple pages. Make sure you follow us everywhere. We are on Kick. It's your boy FiF on Kick. We are also on YouTube. It's your boy FiF and Street Magic Multimedia. And we are on Facebook, Aaron All Niter. So make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, all of that good shit. Now that the bills are paid and we got that out the way, man, how you feel about what's going on in Iran and how it might affect China.
Bro, holy shit, man. Dude, 2026 has been nothing short of high impact, high velocity shit all year long. Where you begin? So we saw bombing Iran with Israel, quote unquote, them boys. We going to war for them boys again. Something else that them boys got us into. All right, so instead of getting broad scoped on this, I'll stay on point with what we want to go with this. China, I believe I saw a number was either 60 or 80% of China's oil is purchased through Iran. Now, them shutting down the Straits of Hormuz right now is going to dramatically affect the amount of imported oil they can grab. On the flip side, I will say China also has the biggest oil reserve in the world right now. Not reserve. When I say reserves, I want to not in the ground reserves. They're not like they're sitting on a pocket of oil in China, underneath China.
They got it stored already.
What I mean by that is exactly what All Niter just said. They have imported enough oil and they have stored it in storage facilities more than the rest of the world has. So I don't know if they want to say they predicted this, but it almost feels like they knew something was going to happen and they started stockpiling a long time ago, and they have quite the reserve. So can they maintain? Yes, but there's a timetable of that because there's only a finite amount of reserve they have. And if they start tapping into that reserve, as big as China is and as much oil as they use as a country, they're going to dwindle that down. I don't want to say fast, but they're going to take it down faster than what you think for the amount that's there. And what is being put back in to offset the amount they're using isn't remotely close to the same. So they're at a net negative on loss. How long can they sustain that for? Who knows? Because China fluctuates their numbers anyways. Any report you get out of China, whether it's population, economy, militarily, financially, everything's skewed for them numbers. They always favor themselves to look better in the international eye. So it's hard really to make an assessment on that. But if you're going strictly off of what they say, looks like they can hold it down. They can maintain for a while. But again, they can't last forever in this current model.
Facts. Now, talking about all that with China, we're going to get into this clip, and it breaks down the reliance, like you were saying, and a little bit about the reserves. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
This week, we've been reporting about the economic impact of the war in the Middle East. Well, tonight, we want to take you inside China, a superpower and a major importer of oil from Iran. CBS's Anna Koren is in Beijing.
Under bleak winter skies, thousands of delegates arrived in Beijing for one of the country's most important political events. But hanging over this year's National People's Congress, the war in the Middle East, 3,500 miles away.
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Except nobody here wants to talk about it.
Are you concerned about the war in Iran and how it will affect China? Do you think that this is part of President Trump's plan to contain China? Are you concerned about China's energy supply with the war in Iran?
The US and Israel-led war on Iran has exposed China's Achilles heel, its reliance on oil and natural gas from the Persian Gulf. China is the largest importer of energy in the world and buys nearly all of Iran's sanctioned oil. Right now, that supply line has been severely disrupted. China is also one of Iran's closest allies. Inside the Great Hall of the People, Chinese leader Xi Jinping watched on as the premier delivered the annual report and his country unveiled its new 5-year plan focusing on becoming technologically self-reliant.
Well, the 5-year plan is critical in setting out China's strategy. The outcome of the war in the Middle East could have a much larger impact on the long-term future of China's economy.
Facing a growing rivalry with the US, China is continuing to spend on defence and is aiming for global supremacy in AI, quantum computing, among other technologies.
China has condemned the war. It sent a special envoy to the region to try to de-escalate tensions. But if this becomes a protracted conflict, China could in fact benefit, with the US draining resources, military hardware, and losing focus on its greatest power rival.
Anna Koren in Beijing, thank you.
Bro, you know what I caught out of that? What I caught the most interesting to me, which caught my attention, was not all the information being spewed. The fact that those reporters were going up to Chinese citizens and these motherfuckers was refusing to speak.
They scared.
Bro, that tells you a lot about what goes on in that country, bro. As in, like, with the social credit score, the fact that, like, if they know they say something that's not viewed kindly towards their current administration, their ability to buy food, milk, their ability to travel outside of their city,
similar to the song bun in North Korea,
bro. Crazy.
The social credit score. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know, like, I look at it like this. Them being the biggest importers of oil in the world, that goes to the reserves, like you were saying. You know what I mean? They've been the biggest importer of oil in the world for years. So, hence what you were saying, they got this shit stockpiled, ready to go, waiting. So we can believe that part because somebody had to export it to them, and we track that shit. But this is still going to piss off China.
Of course.
And put us in more of a spread thin predicament. Especially with like all the things we're planning on doing and putting ourselves. Like later in this episode, we're going to talk. Well, we're going to hear Trump mention Venezuela and Cuba and his talks on Cuba. So I think that we should focus a little bit, narrow things down. I think Iran is going to be tough. It always has been.
Bro, this expert's saying that we can't win this war.
And they're saying like, yo, just chill.
But here's the thing, though. Under what criteria are you considering the win? And this is where I think a lot of people, when they say this, they aren't. It's easy for me to give you a broad view and be like, we can't win this. We can't win this war. What does that really mean? When you say win the war, are you like looking at it from a point of like, we're gonna carpet bomb Iran and wipe them off the face of the map? Is that what the idea behind the win is, or is it
a successful regime change,
or is it crippling of the army of their military? What is the criteria? Thus, we're judging the win or loss on.
I think a win would be crippling their military. That way, they can't fight back. A regime change where they conform to our ways, like we're trying, right?
Never gonna
and then there's always going to be the little factions that fight against it, and the only real win where there wouldn't be any of the rebellion is if you take the unethical route and just wipe them off the map and start over.
But you can't, bro. That is an ancient civilization. Now, for people who don't know this, Iran nowadays, if everyone has seen the movie 300, right? This is the easiest way I can make y'all understand who this is. When the Spartans fought the Persians, Iran is Persia. Iran are the Persians. Iran today is Iran. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It was Persia. That's right. So you're talking about a that has been on this planet far longer than the U.S. has. And I don't see 90 million people, which I believe I saw a population that 90 million people in Iran or somewhere there close to. You're not going to change the ideology over there.
Especially by bombing them.
No, fuck no, bro. No. What happened in Iraq, bro? And Iraq is a fourth of the size and a tenth of the population. And we couldn't even but that's, again, I think we're going.
They say you get more with honey than vinegar. Just imagine this theory, right? No, what would be a crazy type of war? We spend billions of dollars on war anyways, with bombs, missiles, all of this. What if we just bought the people off and gave them the money that we would spend on the military?
Is that what we're kind of doing now, though, in a more covert way, though? I mean, we go there. We've already tried to, and the U.S. has done this for the last 100 years, almost, a little less.
Hey, we gave everybody a nice check of like $30,000. Their government didn't do that shit. They're like, yo, I'm going to go with the guy who paid me big money.
their government would stop that. I think we do this in a much more covert manner where we go in, we take this money, we allocate it to these guerrilla groups.
Yeah.
And we get these like we pay for it. It's so fucked up. I'll give you an example.
Yeah, we do a coup in all these countries.
We fought Al Qaeda in Iraq and yet go to Syria and the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We're funding Al Qaeda in Syria to fight the Syrian army there.
Right.
Last year. So it's these kind of moves that we make. It's like we already kind of inadvertently do that. We can go into these countries the size of Iran and systematically pay off tribes around the capital, right? So you surround them in every way. You put 5 different tribes around them. You pay those tribes off. You fund them. You educate them. You train them. You know what I mean? Like we already kind of do it. We don't do it with the people, and I think it's because how could you essentially do that with the people without the government, like the Iranian government, getting in the way and stopping it? And you saw what happened when we just did this recently, a couple months ago. We caused an uprising, and they killed. I saw the numbers of 10 to 20,000 people. They went out there with no mercy, bro, and decided wiping protesters off the face of the planet, bro. Like completely killing them. Like they weren't even like we have luxuries here in the U.S. that I feel like a lot of us we take for granted. Like we're
we definitely take it for granted,
bro. The BLM and shit, and all these people that we're allowed to go protest without having the military come down there and mow you down with machine guns. You can't do that in North Korea. You can't do that in Iran. These people wipe you, your family, your family's family off the planet. Your lineage is gone.
Yeah,
bro, it's wild. Like, and I don't know, man. I don't. What's the answer? What's the answer to this? You know what I mean? Like what's the? Is it regime change? Is that really the goal, or is that the goal we're being fed on TV? Like, what's the real sinister premise?
I think that's the short-term goal. I think the short-term goal with Iran is regime change. Get somebody in power that can control the backlash. That way we can control the oil exports and the trade routes with that fucking little canal over there.
Suez. Now think about this. Who's north? I was thinking about this recently. We already have the ring. We already have the ring of we've already kind of isolated China, right? Because we've kind of like put bases in the Pacific from Japan all the way down to Australia. So we kind of like blockaded them on this side. We already started to do the Israel. We already started to go like southwest of them. And I don't think it's directly south of China, but isn't Iran also south of China? I don't think there's any buffer countries, or if there is, it's like one in between.
Yeah, they're like right next door.
That's
why China is an ally to them.
Well, I'm looking from the U.S. point of view. If we already got them on the eastern side, kind of held in, now we're going to the southern part, trying to turn around them. It's almost like you have Russia and China, which are the most northern and the most in that continent. You know what I mean?
We want to be able to watch our neighbor
and surround them all the way. We already have Europe. Europe's already to the west of Russia. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that southern part where you have like India, Cambodia, Laos, like all the Uzbekistan.
That's why we funded Ukraine. To be on Russia's doorstep,
to buffer them, bro, because
it's also geologically with Iran.
It's also geologically with Iran. If you pulled up like a topical map, and you looked at where Russia wants to go, there's only 2 from Europe into Russia. There's a huge mountain system which totally inhibits troop movement. Right? There's like 2 or 3 passes where you can get through them, and I believe they all 3 have to run through Ukraine and in order to get to Russia. So from a Russia point of view, it's strategically important to grab that because then you've choke pointed any kind of invasion into Russia. Now on the flip side, we want that because that gives us easy access into Russian territory because those choke points are now being held by United States, UN, or an ally thereof. You know what I mean? To me, it's like a strategic point of view. Like from military, if you look at the topical map, the way that the mountainous area is over there, it's crazy. Because you look at it, you're like, oh, this is more than just like, there's more to this than what the naked eye sees.
Yeah, that's why we can't get them from that way.
No,
that's why we wanted Ukraine. That's why we had to go in from the south with Ukraine, and Russia knew that, so they had all their military already over there, ready for
protecting those choke points because they know whoever holds that. You can't get in from if you were going west, going to east. You can't do that. They're already buffered by China. Russia's above China a little bit, like up around Alaska, up around that part of the northern hemisphere. But then you have the Korean Peninsula, and China basically insulates Russia from the Pacific. So Russia really has to only focus on the eastern, the western part of their country, where the UN is, where Europe is. They have China worrying about the Pacific side, and like what we're talking about now, maybe coming from the south going north is probably the most volatile area. And if you look at the last 20 years, all the wars have been in that geological area, those locations, bro. So it's like, does it make sense that way? Looking at it, I mean,
that's the only way it does. Like, because you can't go through the certain way, like you can't do that mountain range, and there's only land doesn't move. You know what I mean? So it's once you strategically plan out where the access points are for each country, it doesn't change. So you could just build your military on that, focus on it, practice for that, all of that. But one thing that's, you know how China's been like trying to act tough with Taiwan to trigger us for the last few years? Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Welcome back. I'm Tiffany Meyer. The Chinese military has stopped breaching Taiwan's airspace following the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran that began nearly a week ago. China has been a main supporter of the Iranian regime for decades, but a weakened Iran puts the Chinese regime in a difficult spot. NTD's Washington correspondent Jack Bradley has the details.
The Chinese military is no longer breaching Taiwan's airspace, at least for the past week, as China's closest ally in the Middle East suffered from major U.S. and Israeli strikes, taking out its top leaders. This is unprecedented, as China's military flight breaches on Taiwan were happening daily, in what were seen as intimidation tactics or possibly rehearsals of an invasion.
China's increasingly aggressive actions near Taiwan are not just exercises, they are rehearsals.
The U.S. has been arming Taiwan in the event of an attack from China, but China has been benefiting off of the U.S. sending its weapons to Ukraine and dealing with conflicts in the Middle East.
Iran is very, very important when you're planning to invade Taiwan.
The Chinese Communist Party has been building relations with the Iranian regime for decades, building a second front against the U.S. and buying cheap sanctioned oil in the process.
Iran is absolutely key when it comes to sanctions evasion.
All while depleting U.S. resources. One example is when Iranian-backed Houthi terrorists began attacking European cargo ships in late 2023. Container traffic in the Red Sea fell by 90% in 3 months, forcing the U.S. military to intervene.
You want to make sure that you're able to distract the United States.
But now, China's military drawdown on Taiwan may be connected to the CCP's ongoing military purge. The Chinese regime has removed dozens of top generals over the past few months, placing them under investigation, accusing them of disloyalty to the Communist Party. Many say this has undermined the CCP's overall military readiness to invade Taiwan.
The People's Liberation Army is in no position to fight a war. We spend our time in Britain and obviously in the US talking about the threat from China, but maybe it's overblown, Michael.
But the US may need a solution to Iran quickly, as a prolonged conflict could embolden the CCP.
If it looks like the Americans and the free world have gotten stuck in Iran and that the regime still is in place, at that point, I think you could find the Chinese saying Taiwan as a very juicy target. And maybe that the time is right, particularly if President Trump, is handcuffed by domestic political problems.
The outcome of the Iran conflict could determine whether the U.S. can pull through in what may become the face-off of the century, a Chinese move against Taiwan. Reporting by Jack Bradley, NTD News.
They trying to talk about a possible.
You still got the audio rolling. All right, just. Also, my bad. That's me. Hold on. Fuck me. I'm still trying to get I'm going on Kick to try to pull up my fucking analytic page so I can see what's going on. And I got their ads playing my bad. My fault. My bad.
So with China, it's like them pulling out of the airspace right now is weird to me, especially since they've been violating Taiwan's airspace for like years. But I can see if we are draining their resources, their stockpile of the oil reserves, like you mentioned earlier, how long can that last for? They say that they can last for a while, but can they really? And if they do try to strike us, will it be them attacking an ally like Taiwan, where we've already vowed to defend?
Or right? It's funny because I was just as I was playing, it dawned on me. A lot of times you'll see these aggressive posturings of nations against another nation, knowing that there's an imminent threat and there's an imminent war coming, and you'll see them hype up. You think, oh, it's coming, everyone's waiting, and then they pull back. You let your guard down in that pullback time, and then bang, they nail you because you're so used to being on defense because you see them coming, like them constantly infringing on the airspace. They constantly
Is this their pullback period?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Is it they pull back now in the thought that Taiwan will go to take the breath, like, and then in the middle of them taking that breath, they come in and fucking and nail them. To me,
that tells me they don't have much oil reserves as much as they say, because they're already acting quick.
That, and I think China itself is on a timetable anyways, which is why they've been aggressively acting the way they have been towards Taiwan. China, I think, holds like the second or third in global population. Their population is due to take a drastic fall off in the next 10 to 15 years, where the incoming youth that are working the jobs that are paying their taxes they're top heavy. Where
we broke that down on the Sunday's podcast.
So I think the 60 and up crowd, you can't, the amount of resources it takes, food, energy, with the healthcare, that costs money. Usually the incoming people that are being taxed pay for the top. So the bottom base is usually bigger than the top is to make money. If you have a bigger base making money than the top is extracting it, you'll have a net positive. In this case,
so President Xi, right? If you're the Chinese president, what do you do? At this moment right now, all your oil imports is getting fucked up.
If they're gonna strike, they need to. If the plan is Taiwan, they need to strike now and not wait. To me, the longer they wait, the less and less percentage they have to win. Because as years go on and drag on, not only is Taiwan preparing for this better, they're getting technology from the United States, UN. They're giving them much better technology to defend themselves. And in the long run, they're only going to lose because as more people get older and they start to like leave the positions they're in, there isn't people to replace them coming up. It's like a baseball team. The farm system's weak, and the baseball team itself is large and sucking all the resources out. If that farm team can't support the up top, bro, it's not. There's a timetable. It's a limited timetable, which goes into the clip said that it's the AI arms race, which makes sense on why China is going so damn ham in trying to get this AI going, because they know they're not going to be a global player in the next 20 years. They can't, because the amount of resources coming in to what they have to put out, it's unbalanced. It's drastically unbalanced. It's not even close, bro. It's like drastically unbalanced.
Well, that's probably why they use so much robotics right now in China.
That's why.
You see, look at, they got fucking robotic cops doing traffic details and shit. They don't even, so any traffic detail or any detail where like a human cop in America would be getting overtime for or whatever. Now they got a robot doing that shit in China, because the working population, they need them in other jobs,
in other areas, because they don't have enough. It's crazy. They don't have enough. And me being in construction, my day, my 9 to 5, we call it construction. This just came to my attention last month, bro. This blows my fucking mind. You can go into any building and you go up and see sprinkler systems, right? There's a pipe, and every 7 feet, there's another sprinkler head, right? Boom. China has them to where they don't need to run all these pipes. They have, say, like a big ass warehouse is, just say, I'll give you an example, 100,000 square feet, right? Massive warehouse. Instead of spending all the money, time to run all these pipes above the ceiling and have these heads every so often, every 7 feet, they have them where they have AI thing comes down. There's sprinklers there. They'll come down and it turns into a hose and it reads where it is and shoots water X feet to hit. It calculates. So now you don't need all this extra fucking piping. Think about the cost. Sprinklers, I'll give you an example. Sprinklers are a massive cost when it comes to U.S. construction, dude. Like if you're gonna do sprinkler repairs it's usually tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of what's going on. Now, imagine only instead of having in a building that's 100,000 square feet, instead of having say 5,000 sprinkler heads and 10,000 feet worth of fucking or 100,000 feet worth of piping everywhere, you only need maybe 10 of those heads every 1,000 feet. You know what I mean? Because they can cover 1,000-foot
So
radius.
they basically got like I'm trying to picture how it works. So like the big factory shooting the water, it's kind of probably centralized like fire stations over here. But instead of letting the firefighters go out, it's the factory shoots the water out itself, aiming at wherever the fire.
It still comes from the ceiling. It comes down, so it's like a water gun. Imagine like a big water hose, and instead of having sprinkler heads that only do a 7-foot plume when it comes out, this fucking thing comes down with a gun that has a high pressurized water system behind it. And I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm just trying to give you an example. So my numbers are definitely. I'm just trying to give you the pink
like
idea.
a super fucking.
It's like a crazy super soaker, dude, that can shoot 1,000 feet away. Let's say, for instance, and have 1,000-foot radius, but you only need to feed the one instead of within that 1,000-foot, that 10,000 square feet. The amount of cost it would take. So they're figuring out smart ways of doing it.
Some of these things that China does create, I feel like
it's amazing.
Yeah, here in America, we gotta adapt. And like, we take other shit. You know what I mean? We go to countries, we just take some shit, we come back, it's ours now. Some of these things, like this sprinkler system idea, take that shit, figure it out, do it over here.
The problem over here, though, bro, and you're right with the overall scheme of thinking of like, that's a great idea. Let's implement it. The reason why it won't fly here, look at how many jobs that takes away. It hurts the general contractor that's building the building has to repair. There's so much money involved in the way we do things, the way we siphon money off. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say siphon money, but the way we can charge clients for shit.
This is a fear with job loss that I think a lot of people are scared about. It's like there'll be different jobs created, though. You know what I mean? Because there's got to be people who make these fucking super soaker fire hoses that come down from the ceiling and install them and maintain them, inspect them annually, all of that shit. So there's still going to be employees. You're just going to have a different position. It's like the people who were the elevator operators back in the day that had to open the door and put the button in before you on the crank. Now that job turned into the person who literally just installed the button system and maintained it. So the jobs will still be there. It'll just be a different job. I think we're scared because we don't know what these jobs will be yet.
That's exactly what it is. And you're right in what you're saying. Things evolve, but there's so much time it takes to get from A to B.
Yeah.
There's that lull period where
there's the learning period.
Well, I call it the lull period because now you have a slew of people that have now been taken out of their career. Only a small percentage of them actually move on to what the next thing is. Right. If you don't know what the next thing is, now you get a group of people that don't know what's going on. And this sucks to get into politics, but politically, if you do that, you're taking a hit because now you got a group of people that's hella pissed off that ain't going for whatever you're going. You know what I mean? There's a lot of moving parts in it, and I'm not saying that it's the right move, but I understand why things don't happen like that. Like, you know what I mean?
The bureaucracy of it, and like you said, politics is. I don't want to lose re-election. I got to make sure that I get re-elected. This is my career now. I can't do one term and be out.
It's funny too. You see a lot of what you're saying happens when, if it's the president, it's like the first 2 years. It's the earlier on because you tend to forget as re-election time comes. Or if it's like the Senate or the House, it's like the first year.
Yeah, the last 2 years that's when they make everybody happy. The last 2 years, I'll give you whatever you want. Don't worry about it. You get it. So the first 2 years, it's like, I got shit I got to do. You might not like, but I got to get it done. Sorry about it. Now, speaking of politics, this went viral this week, and we got to talk about it. And what went viral on this was the beginning part and the middle end. I'm going to play somebody who filmed this and somebody who added on their own opinions to what the Marine was saying. And yes, I'm talking about the Marine with the broken hand. Talking about them boys.
You got the clip?
Talk about it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
Why are you here? Why are you getting arrested?
Free Palestine. From the halls of Mount Azupla to the shores of Tripoli, Palestine will be free.
Oh my God, they broke his arm. Oh man.
We just witnessed a Marine veteran interrupting the hearing, and they broke his arm.
Why did he interrupt the hearing?
Because there is a war in Iran, and our military brothers and sisters are going to die for Israel, and we are here to say no. We do not support Israel. We do not want to die for Israel. Stop the war in Iran right now.
And what did they do to him?
They pulled him out, got his arm trapped in a door, broke his arm, tackled him to the ground. It was a very, very intense situation.
America does not want to fight this war in Iran, and the soldiers don't, right, Brian?
No, they don't. American citizens don't want to send their sons and daughters to fight in Iran. We're fighting for Israel.
One more, like, just so you don't trip it off, please.
Such a mixed bag. Such a mixed bag in that clip, bro.
Yeah, it's like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's a lot to break down on that. I mean,
so I look at it like this. Remember a year or two ago, everybody was real mad at liberals with the Free Palestine and all of that stuff going on. Now, realizing we are fighting Iran for Israel, a lot of the people who were against people saying Free Palestine are now saying Free Palestine. And kind of, I think, maybe coming to the awakening that Israel is running things above us. Maybe people didn't really realize the power and control. I'm going to get to one more quick clip about this because it breaks it down a little bit more and shows how it's a doing that we're doing for Israel. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
We begin our coverage this morning with Chief Correspondent Matt Gutman, who is in Tel Aviv, Israel.
For 7 days, the U.S. and Israel targeted regime leadership and military installations, but overnight, towering flames cast an eerie orange glow over Tehran after Israel struck what it said was an Iranian military fuel depot. Drivers on this highway detouring around the flames. Video circulating seems to show sewers and streets on fire as well. This morning, those fires still burning under blackened skies, a huge plume hanging over the city. And with over 1,300 dead in Iran, according to the Red Crescent, the country's clerics have now announced they are close to selecting a new leader. Support has recently crystallized around Ayatollah Khamenei's hardline son, Mujtaba. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's advisor, Michael Eisenberg, with a blunt message.
You know, the highest risk job right now is to be the new Ayatollah. That's a high-risk job. To be the head of the Iranian military, the IRGC, those are high-risk jobs. Don't take them.
They're going to be targeted.
Don't take those jobs. These are high-risk jobs. We're watching you.
The president has demanded a say in the selection of Iran's next leader, and Israel's Netanyahu using an address overnight to directly speak to the Iranian people. He said, "I've been speaking to you and for you for decades. The moment of truth is approaching, for we do not seek to divide Iran, we seek to liberate Iran and live with it in peace." In Lebanon, Iran's main proxy in the region, Hezbollah, has stepped up rocket and drone fire at Israel. Overnight, most of that intercepted. In response, Israel has ordered some 300,000 residents of Hezbollah's stronghold in Beirut to flee, taking out building after building. Margaret, a short time ago, a bomblet from one of those cluster munitions landed in that building behind me. You can see it flung a car up in the air. They are now in the process of moving it. Israeli authorities telling me that Iran is now relying more heavily on those cluster munitions, which spread out those bomblets high up in the atmosphere. and they're finding those much more difficult to stop. Margaret.
That's Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv.
So, Netanyahu says, we're watching you. Now, in the English language, when you say we're watching you, it means multiple people who are like connected, watching somebody that identify themselves as we. And then it cut to Trump saying that he wanted to be involved in the new leader selection, which makes sense because if we're going to be over there doing some shit, might as well control the shit. Otherwise, we're just going to stay over there and it's going to be a money pit and more people are going to die. But I hate when people sugarcoat shit instead of just saying what it is. Like, I wish Israel and Trump said, listen, we don't like Iran. We want to take over Iran, grow Israel in the Middle East, and have more of our ways over there. And this is how we're going to do it. Because we don't like their policies and their economy and their values. We have our own values. And we're just going to put our flag over there. Everybody cool with it? Let's go. Like, just be real with me. Like, I can read between the lines. Especially when Netanyahu's, we're watching you. It's like, okay, motherfucker, who is we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it cuts to Trump picking the next leader or wanting to pick the next leader. I'm like, oh, that's the we. Makes sense. And then one thing I've always questioned about all wars, ever since I was a kid, right? This has always fucked my mind up. Why is there news reporters at every fucking war filming this shit while there's bombs flying in the background? They got a helmet on. They're sitting there in fatigues. They got press on their bulletproof vests, and they're like, and we're reporting here live. You see the missiles in the background. They're attacking this building and that building. Please don't go over there if you can. Make sure you stay at home. This is crazy. And it's like, bro, what are you doing there?
You want to, bro? You want that says more of? That says more about the fact of us as a people tune into that kind of shit so bad that these motherfuckers know that if I put somebody else in harm's way, like you're saying, throw them in a war zone, and as long as they're there live, bring you the action, that there is a slew of people on the back. Because if there was no market for that, that person would not be doing that. But the fact of it that there is a viewership market for that, and it's so big, they're willing to take, April Acostas and tell her to go put a fucking helmet on and a thing and go into Beirut where they're dropping bombs and shit, like, for the coverage of it. Like you're saying, look behind me, just 50 feet behind me, your building fell. Like,
now let me put my tinfoil hat on for a second, right? What if a lot of news reports with these wars are just staged propaganda?
For what? So what would be what is the ulterior motive?
To show what you're doing, to show success in the war, to show strength, to show.
Dude, Israel's doing that now.
Right.
Israel's doing that right now. They're not, and they're doing it for the same motive, but the opposite direction.
You can do like fake news reports with like fake war type shit going.
Bro, they're not even allowing people over. They're not even allowing the footage to go out. You're only getting footage on right now. The way they're getting shit out. This is not the only method, but a method I've seen or heard of is they're using that app Telegram because it's encrypted. So the people inside Israel are taking video and then sending it to other people on Telegram that are outside of Israel. Say like a mid-level content creator on YouTube has a connect over there on Telegram to get these. It's the only way we're getting real footage. Israel is having. I watch Myron Gaines, and he watches a lot of. He goes into X, and they call them X Spaces, where they have like these big debates. And a lot of these people have their own feelers out there trying to get information and shit. And what they're saying is, if you go to like Al Jazeera TV, they have live feeds in Israel. A lot of the cameras are pointed down right now, or they're off completely. So they're not even showing you 24. These cameras are supposed to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're 24/7 cameras. They're not even those things are down. And the footage even going out, they're censoring it going through normal social media channels. So the only way we're getting real information is through these encrypted apps where me or you are there. We get the actual footage. We know better than to go the traditional routes the internet were going through these back channels like Telegram, these other encrypted apps to get the real shit out. But Israel's doing all of this because they don't want the perception of going out being like, we hit Iran. They don't want to show that Iron Dome isn't 100% effective, which is fine. Nothing's 100% in life. But I'm hearing numbers, they're stopping like, say, 80 percentile and up.
Right.
But they don't even, which is weird to me because it's like, bro, you should be showing that as a sign of strength. But no, you're on the reverse end going, I don't want to show the 20% that got through and the destruction that it caused, which is weird because, if I was a boxer and out of every 10 punches, only 2 hit, that's a pretty good fucking ratio. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking like an 80%. That's maybe on the low end. Maybe it's 90%. I don't know.
They want to hold such a higher standard and image that they're not even accepting those 2 punches out of 10.
It's crazy.
They're
bro.
like, nah, I'm not going to admit that. Nope.
I mean, I get it, yo. It's
no
weird
punches
too.
out of 10. I blocked every one of them.
I saw a video too on X. I don't know. I can't confirm that this is 100% real. It looked real, but it showed one of these Chinese missiles that Iran recently got, and it's so smart in a bad way. It's like genius smart. These hypersonic missiles, they fly ultra fast as it begins with, but when they get into a certain distance from the target, it accelerates speed. It actually picks up speed, so it's flying around at a crazy speed. Then say it gets within 1,000 feet of the target. It then puts on like it's like 100% down, like gas pedal all the way down, and it showed it coming in, and then it showed the target, and you saw the burst. That thing fucking rocking.
Well, like you said, it's genius because whenever it gets in that range, it's probably the range that it gets detected. So that's when as soon as it knows that it gets detected, that's probably when it subs its speed. That way, it's harder to shoot down.
Just think of the impact. Think of the impact coming down. That's even a crazier impact, dude. That's genius smart.
But speaking of missiles and Iran, Israel, China, check this shit out. We'll talk about it.
Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles towards Israel since the conflict began. Now, the distance between Iran's capital Tehran and Tel Aviv in Israel is about 1,600 kilometers. Now, Iran does have missiles that can cover that distance, but they need to transit other countries, which makes striking Israel a challenge. Let me explain. Let's say Iran launches dozens of missiles towards Israel. They travel through Iraq and Syria. They could also go over Saudi Arabia. But what could happen in Iraq, where you have US military bases? You have the American Patriot system that engages and destroys these missiles. So let's say we've lost some of these missiles out here. The ones that are remaining then enter the Syrian and Jordanian airspace. And by then, you have the Israeli air defenses that engage and destroy these missiles. Now we have Jordan also that helps Israel intercept incoming projectiles. Now we have the missiles entering the Israeli airspace, and then they are targeted by US warships that are stationed here. Remember, the US Navy has a significant presence in the Mediterranean Sea. And finally, we have the missiles when they are inside the Israeli airspace. They are targeted by a multi-layer air defense system that includes the Iron Dome, the David Sling, and Arrow system, apart from the American THAAD air defenses. And despite all of that, you have Iranian missiles that are actually hitting targets inside Israel. The time taken for a missile from Iran to reach Israel is about 10 to 12 minutes. And this is the damage we are seeing inside Tel Aviv after an Iranian missile strike. At least 11 people have been killed in the past 9 days.
All right, so Tel Aviv getting struck by missiles.
Yeah, pounded, bro. They're taking some hits.
And the dome, like you said, that's just the 20% that's getting through. And we've talked before where you've mentioned how Iran builds in-house, plus that now talking about the supersonic shit that they're getting from China, because China's like, yo, hey, listen, you're my oil plug. and I'm running out of reserves over here, so I need to help you get this oil running again. Plus, with that canal, all the world trade that's getting affected with cargo ships, nobody's going to insure a cargo ship over there.
Bro, this happened. So last week was our first full week of us at war. Just to give you a quick example, that strait getting knocked down. Gas was like $2.50, $2.60 a gallon. I went and got gas Wednesday or Thursday last week. That shit was right back to $2.93, $3.10, depending on where you were. That shit instantly jumped 50 or 60 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
So all that, we were paying that like a couple years ago. So that was what I was used to anyways. Right. But it was nice seeing it come down and going, oh shit, instead of spending 50, I'm spending 35 or 40 to fill my tank. You know, I get another 10, 15 bucks every time. I instantly watch all that erase last week coming into that shit because that fucking, and I don't think we've really even seen a real it hasn't impacted the economy yet. I feel like there's a ripple effect. Like that's going to take time for it to really filter through everything. And really
I think this change that we've seen with the gas prices, it's going to be, this was, like you said, ripple effect. This was the stock market being scared at first, knowing, oh shit, we're about to take a dip. So mad people sold and fucking, I mean, shit went up. But it's like, okay, now it's only going to get higher the warmer it gets because now it's travel season, summer, spring, fucking vacations. So it's only going to go up and this war is going to continue. We're trying to drain China's reserves for oil, but it hurts us right now. But if you think about it, who did we just fucking capture before Iran? Maduro with Venezuela.
With the second biggest oil reserves.
The oil that they were getting from Venezuela.
Yo, that's some, bro. You think you nailed it. I didn't even think about it like that.
So
we go to make it. We're making them.
Remember, I mentioned before when I kept talking to Big Three, and I said he's going to take all of these countries and their resources. It stops them from exporting these resources to our enemies because now they're ours. So Venezuela, we're going to stop feeling that as soon as we get these oil companies and they're up and running, shit going. So we're not even going to do the sanctions. Well, not sanctions, the inspections for the oil refineries that they already have there that need to be updated. We're just going to put them shits to work. If somebody dies out there, they die out there. Hey, it's a sacrifice. You're a martyr and a hero. Fucking give us the oil. And we're going to do the same thing.
It's going to take time for the Venezuela oil, though, because the type of oil that's being pumped out of the ground there, it isn't the same kind of, the oil that Venezuela has isn't the same kind that we pump in the U.S., which isn't the same kind that they pump over in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. They're different styles of oil. Our refineries,
Venezuelan oil, we're gonna sell. We're gonna sell that oil and trade.
Well, it'll take a couple years, and if we build some refineries here for that specific kind of oil, we can then become an exporter of it. Which is, I can kind of see Trump doing that because he's always talking about being the #1 energy exporter. So when I see that, and then I hear him talking about we're giving incentives to bring business back, I'm like, all right, there's a good, oil's a fucking $1 trillion business. I'm like, so what better if we're giving incentives for a new refinery somewhere, a bunch of refineries that refine that kind of oil to get it market ready to sell across the world. You know what I mean? For all the various products and gasoline.
It's a collection of minerals, reserves, money, all of this for us to be part of the Big Three, for us to have this hemisphere. Bro, I almost I was so thrown for a loop the other day when the Kristi Noem got fired.
Yeah.
And then appointed for the brand new Shields of America.
See, I missed that whole thing, bro. You know, can you enlighten me and anyone else that don't know? I saw that she got fired, but I missed the whole what she got fired for and what was the outcome of that. It totally fucking.
So basically, it was Trump didn't like how she was acting with the border and defense, but which is weird because now he anoints her like a head position in this brand new organization, Shield of Americas, where he met in Florida with a bunch of leaders from Latin American countries to unite for us, where basically attack on drugs and cartels and all of this, where we will give them missiles to blow shit up. He was like, you want to blow things up? We got the missiles.
So is that what Shield does? Like, what's this Department of Shield? You said it's a brand new thing. What? I don't even know about that. What is that?
Well, it's going to be like a round table. I interpret it as like our own NATO for our hemisphere.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, hey, you guys got a drug problem, a cartel problem, or a problem with any of these countries, we will shield the Americas. And this hemisphere is ours. And if you remember when Trump took Maduro, he kept talking about the Monroe Doctrine, how he renamed the Monroe Doctrine. That's to protect this hemisphere.
Yeah.
And if we have to, by protecting this hemisphere, that doctrine gives us the authority in our own eyes and our own words to basically take over their country and control it if we have to. So let's talk about the Shield of America a little bit more. Check this out.
U.S. President Donald Trump turned his attention to his own hemisphere, albeit for only an hour, at his Miami Golf Club, where he'd invited 12 conservative Latin American heads of state to hear about his new regional initiative. It's called Shield of the Americas, a newly formed U.S.-led alliance to stop undocumented mass immigration, crime and drug trafficking, and foreign interference in the hemisphere, a reference to China. Trump offered his guests lethal U.S. military force to hunt down criminals.
We'll use missiles. If you want us to use a missile, they're extremely accurate. Pum, right into the living room. That's the end of that cartel person. But we'll do whatever you need if you want.
Right-wing governments were on hand to join what he's named America's Counter-Cartel Coalition. But conspicuously absent were the leaders of Latin America's two largest countries, Brazil and Mexico, the latter being the country from where the lion's share of drugs that go into the United States come from, not to mention Colombia and Peru, where almost all of the cocaine is produced. The problem is the leaders of those countries are not considered friends of the U.S. And neither is communist Cuba, which he says is next on his list.
But our focus right now is on Iran, and we'll do that. I would say, what will you do? Take about 2 days off, Marco? No, he won't. Maybe an hour. He'll take 1 hour off, and then he'll finish up a deal on Cuba.
There was no chance for the Latin American leaders to speak, only to listen.
We share a hemisphere and geography. We share cultures, Western Christian civilization. We share these things together. We have to have the courage to defend it.
A meeting that sent a clear message that the so-called Monroe Doctrine offers some carrots as well as sticks to restore U.S. hegemony in the Western Hemisphere. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Miami.
So when I seen this the other day, I had to pinch myself because I was like, yo, I was just talking about this. I'm like, as soon as he started naming countries and saying, yo, I'm going to go over there, take this, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take this. I'm like, okay, if he does that, how he going to get away with it? I'm like, he mentioned Monroe Doctrine. I'm like, that's on his mind. I'm like, that controls this hemisphere. I'm like, yeah, it's about time because China's at their peak right now. They're about to strike. Russia's already struck Ukraine. They're already on a go. Kim Jong-un's been playing with missiles for years. It's like, hey, it's now or never. So as soon as he took Maduro, I'm like, oh, this shit's on. And we did that little deal with Greenland, but I think that we're going to bully them on that deal. And we're going to like take advantage of it, just like Okay, we're gonna have Rubio gonna have an hour meeting with Cuba and make a deal, bro. Like they have no oil in Cuba right now, so of course they're gonna hop on a deal. And then
we barricaded them. We're not allowed anything in and out.
Yeah, we fucking we stopped them oil.
It's so I don't know, man. It goes back to what I always say. Like Cuba strategically, it would make sense. Even the whole Caribbean, that would make sense if we took it over. But at the same time, it's like they're sovereign nations. Is it right for us to go take them over? But and obviously the clear answer is no. It's not morally right. But then the next question becomes: if we don't fucking do it, are we going to let China do it? Are we going to let one of these other countries that don't give a fuck about that moral dilemma bullshit? That is, it will absolutely put the fucking gas pedal down and just go and take it out. And then you have now one of our enemies on our doorstep.
Yeah.
I don't know,
See,
bro.
I peeped the game plan. I seen the play a mile away. I knew as soon as we picked up Maduro in the tracksuit and said it was for drugs and he was a narco terrorist. And then Trump just on the plane we took his oil. We went and grabbed his oil, all of it. We went over there. We got oil. I called all the big oil companies. I was on the phone with them. They're about to start working. It's like, what? You talk to the oil companies before Congress and the Senate.
Fucking green dude talking about Greenland.
You talk to nobody else. You talk to the oil businesses and said, "Hey, you guys make the energy." Fucking, I'm talking to you
we're
guys.
Taking a lot of shit. We're taking a lot of shit, bro. We inked. We were going to take Greenland. We inked a deal with them. They're essentially like it's not ours as in the United States property, but it might as well be.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Greenland, we're gonna bully that deal too. We're gonna take advantage of it and put as much of our own shit there.
It might as well be ours. It might as well be ours, just not under name. You know what I mean? But it really is type deal. Think about it, we snatched Venezuela up. I mean, really, and it's funny too. The only 4 countries that there was more presidents on that stage than I thought was going to be there with Trump. To be honest with you, bro, it was only 2 lines, but them lines was 12, 14, 16 fucking people there. It was.
Well, look at their options. Look at their options. Either you play ball with America and this Shield of America's idea, and get to use these fun missiles on, these narco terrorists and actually build your economy and make your people happy, or we bomb the shit out of you, or just kidnap your president and take over.
Yeah, we'll bomb the shit out of you, then take over and rebuild it the way we want to, like we did in the Middle East.
Right, like we do everywhere. So we've shown our playbook. We've ran the same play. So it's just we execute it very well, and we have the capability to execute that same play. It's like having a beast running back that can just run through the defense all day long. You could literally run the same play, and he'll just run through the defense.
And there's no one there to tell. Who in the world is going to tell us we can? If we hypothetically wanted to say, we're going from Mexico all the way down to the bottom of South America, and we're taking. Who is really going to stop us from doing that? In all seriousness,
yeah.
Who gives a fuck enough about this hemisphere? I mean, we'll get the denouncing from all the countries and NATO. There'll be a lot of chitter chatter, but when a push comes to shove, who's really gonna push?
Nobody.
You know what I mean? Who's gonna be willing?
All the resources we'll get from South America.
Ooh, they're rich, bro.
Rainforests.
Oh,
like, come on now. We just inherited the rainforest.
All the minerals, the oil, the coal. Bro, there's so many fucking resources down there, bro. Crazy resources.
And geography, the strategicness of it, it's literally a landmass that's connected but surrounded by oceans on both sides.
It's America. It's America. So it has a free buffer zone around itself. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a castle with the biggest moat possible.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. With alligators in it.
Right. Everything in it. All types of shit. Atlantic, Pacific, we good.
For real.
So it's like, and with that much minerals and resources, we'll have enough, in my opinion, to create our own type of dome a little bit. Like we have our own anti-missile technology, but more of a dome like Israel. For at least the United States at first, and then expand it. Well, we could just put that on all the borders going all the way down to shoot down shit anything from either direction. Start on the Pacific side with China and North Korea and all them. And then the Atlantic, if Europe and all them start getting brolic. You know what I mean? But they're going to have to worry about fighting Russia.
It's funny you said that, though, and it makes sense now why other countries have their anti-missile technology is more advanced than ours. And you just said it dawned on me. I'm like, we've never had a need to focus in on that area to make it superior because we're surrounded by oceans. We don't border an enemy. There's nobody we've been shooting missiles back and forth at, so we don't. That's all right. I can see that.
But with the technology getting better and these missiles getting further, yeah, we're gonna need a little something.
And the speed, bro. I think they said what 13. You can look this up. I think it was 13 or 15 times the speed of sound is these hypersonic missiles go at, bro.
So that's California. Bye bye. That's California. Bye bye. Now
on the ICBMs, hell yeah, on the big ones.
So we gotta protect Cali. I mean,
it'd be East Coast too. It'd be the East Coast. The only thing that really be safe would be like Midwest.
Well, the East Coast we'd be safe because they'd have to come from Europe or like Eastern, Western Africa.
Range wise, if you're going from range wise, I mean, I think going from like China to like West Coast and say like as further east as you can get in Russia and firing off to the East Coast, they're similar. They're not that that far out of balance, like distance wise. It'd be the coast that we get annihilated.
Yeah, but what else went viral this week? And this threw me for a loop. I did not see this on my bingo card for 6. Was Nick Fuentes, who's always been very pro-Trump. His dialogue and presence online, in my opinion, was a big boost in helping Trump win the presidency. He was like one of the people that really pushed Trump towards winning.
In 2016.
Yeah.
Not in 24. He didn't vote in 24.
Right. Now he's really changing his views. And we're going to hear what he says, and then we're going to see how this may influence the Republican Party. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
This has to be the breaking point. This is the breaking point for the GOP coalition. You buried the Epstein files. There is no border wall. You didn't deliver on mass deportations. You cut corporate tax rates for the rich by cutting Medicaid again.
Wow.
No infrastructure bill. No middle-class tax cuts. You got to refund the tariffs. And now we're in a regime change war with Iran. That's the breaking point. I'm out. I'm done.
The 360.
I am off the Trump train. I am not voting in 26. If Rubio or Vance are on the ticket in any form in 28, I'm voting for a Democrat.
Oh, wow.
Say whatever you want. Do your worst. Hey, wow. Carpe Donkta.
I saw that rant, bro. I watched that whole episode. It was I watched Nick Fuentes probably. He's one of there's 5 podcasts that I'll tap into all week long to try to get a more well-rounded view on Iran, whatever the current shit going on geopolitically is. I do watch him. He's a funny dude. He's been on Trump's ass for about at least the last year. He didn't even vote for Trump, bro. He didn't vote for Trump in the 2024 election. He's not a fan. It's funny. He is an America First guy, but doesn't look at the America First the way Trump thinks. He's looking at it through the similar, they both have the America First, but looking at it through drastically different lenses.
I think Nick Fuentes, his America First is let's put the money and problems towards fixing America right now and not play with world politics. Whereas Trump realized by being in office and having his handlers in his ear and being a businessman himself knows, hey, U.S. politics in America First is world politics because we do business with the world. We can't, like, until we're fully self-sufficient and have all these resources to be self-sufficient, we can't get that. Let's just mind our business and worry about America. We ain't there yet. So I think that's why Trump's.
We can't anyways, bro. We're too spread. We're in everyone else's business too much to only focus on our shit. We couldn't possibly go, all right, we're just gonna pull everything back from everything we're doing and let whatever happens now. Because we've stabilized what we call stabilizing countries. We've propped up these countries. If we were to remove ourselves and the structure we put in place, these fucking countries would crumble, and then you'd have warlords and tribes,
power and influence.
It'd be a vacuum. It'd be Mad Max in every place until someone became the new leader, and that would be the government at that point.
Right. That goes back to like the moral dilemma of war and land grabs and shit like that. It's like, okay, if we're playing this game, we got to play it to the fullest and win. Otherwise, it's bad. Now,
otherwise, someone else will do it to you. It's going to come down to, at some point, if you're not the number one. I always say this: do you want to be throwing the punch or getting punched? What side of the fist do you want to be on? And it sucks to look at life like that because it's very rough and rugged. But it is very true. But unfortunately, we here in America, we have it so nice. People are like, oh, we can get along, and bro, nowhere else in the world, very few places in the world think like that. It's an absolute minority. Like, everyone else is out dog eat dog, man. Everyone's out for their own to make themselves get better. We cannot take our foot off the gas and start looking at it differently, being like, oh, well, because the number 3 or the number 2 country will easily take the number 1, and they're going to come take our shit. They're not going to care that we had, we were nice to them, or they're not going to care that we were like benevolent to them.
Now, one of my thoughts is this, right? And I've said this before. I hope this isn't a prediction I get correct, but I named the big 3, and then all of a sudden, Shield of America's popped out. We got a whole new organization of world leaders that just happened overnight.
Is it called Shield? Do you think they're gonna call it Shield, and that's gonna be like NATO, like NATO and Shield? Is that gonna fucking like an acronym for something?
No, I just think it's for a shield. The Shield of Americas. I don't think that they put it together well enough for an acronym.
It's funny too, like
the image, bro. It looks like some Chat GPT AI image. Like the logo was definitely, they would like make a shield with American dominance in it.
It's crazy too. The 4 countries that were said to oppose them are the 4 biggest drug countries in Central in South America. So it's like
that's where all the Shield of America is going to focus all its military strength.
Put a target on themselves too, bro. Bad. Think about that. Put a mad. It was kind of slick what he did by him doing that, to know where these countries stand and how corrupt they really were. Because obviously Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and I don't know about Brazil as much, but Brazil being such a big country, I get it. Like, how corrupt are you?
Brazil didn't pull up because of his ties with China and Russia.
True. Yep.
Wasn't the drugs with Brazil? It's brick.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
They like, sorry, we brick.
That was like Trump taking a line in the sand and going, all right, what side of the line? Pick a side.
Exactly.
And 4 people stayed over there, and the rest. That's smart, bro. Now they go to target. They know Mexico. It's gonna be funny. You remember how we talked about like Iran being the last one after 9/11 happened? The general came out with a list of countries. We systematically, if you look at the last 20 years, all the countries we've taken out.
We got a new list.
Iran being the last one on that list. I wonder if the new list comes out and the next one is Mexico, Brazil.
Listen, Trump already mentioned it in those speeches when he started saying Venezuela, Greenland, Colombia, Cuba, Panama. Those are going to be the ones. We're definitely going to go to Cuba. Strategically, that's great. Then fucking all the oil that we'll pump into there, we'll make that a vacation spot.
Bro, they'll take Panama for the Panama Canal. That's the only way to get to cut through, other than you have to travel all the way around. We take that, bro.
The tariffs and control on China and other countries' trade will go up even more, which will force Americans to buy American-made, whether it's anywhere in this shield. And yeah. So we're gonna utilize all of that and build the shield up as its own United Nations.
Having Trump
with us as controlling
have them be like a bargaining chip. Be like, you want to get out of these tariffs? Well, I guess the Supreme Court already knocked them down. So, and it wasn't just so everyone know all the tariffs are not knocked down. There are certain tariffs that I forget how there's like two tiers of tariffs. Once they go into effect, that's it. They go into effect and that's it. They can never be spoken upon again. And then there's like the tier B ones, which are the ones that the court struck down.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe he has to repay all that money.
Now, out of people that you've talked to about this, and I want to know from the viewers too that are watching this, whether live or on a replay or on the clips, comment below. Do you support this war in Iran? And if you do, why? If you don't support this war in Iran, why? Either way you go, I want to know what your reasoning is to see where the people is. Because check this out, we'll talk about it.
From the Pentagon and from the White House, the Trump administration insists the threat from Iran was imminent and war was the only answer.
When crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen.
But poll after poll shows the American people are not buying it. A Reuters Ipsos poll finds public approval of the war at 27%, lower than the Vietnam conflict in its last 2 years.
I don't support it just because I don't support violence, and I just feel like there's a lot of things happening here in our own country that we could be focusing on.
Americans seem more concerned with rising grocery and gas prices. On Capitol Hill, Democrats are wasting no time making their arguments to retake control of Congress in the November midterm elections.
Every strike, every military escalation, every headline is a distraction. It pulls our attention overseas from the urgent economic struggles that Americans face at home. It distracts from the hard, less glamorous work it takes to make life more affordable for the American people.
It seems to be working. Polls show voters are leaning slightly toward Democrats, giving them a chance to flip the House and possibly the Senate.
I would like to see the Democrats control Congress. I think when that happens, people are more humane. I feel that way.
The war has even split Trump's MAGA base, with some of his hardcore supporters saying he's gone from America first to Israel first.
This happened because Israel wanted it to happen. This is Israel's war. This is not the United States' war. This war is not being waged on behalf of American national security objectives.
No one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel.
March is a long way from November, and Republicans have time to make up electoral ground. But for now, the signs point to resistance on the way to the polling booth. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Oof, I mean, bro, it's a this is a tough one because
we see the bigger picture.
Well, two things can be right at the same time. They're right when they're saying we are fighting this war for Israel. This is why, yes. Like, if people can get over that fact, and it's like, well, then why are we doing it? And there's many different reasons. I go to the reason of it to try to, so people can understand this as, like, imagine your boy or someone you hold dear goes into a neighborhood that's surrounded by enemies. You're much more powerful and bigger than everyone in the neighborhood. You can kind of go in there and exert force and allow your boy, so your boy is good and can grow. That's probably like a really dumbed down version of why they're doing it. But at the core, one of the core values of this, I want to say is that. So yeah, are we going to war for Israel? Yes. However, as a byproduct, in like call an addition, the women over there are oppressed like crazy. They have to wear jobs. They have to cover their face. They can't go to school. They can't drive. They have no rights over there. They're second-class citizens. So look at it like women over. If you're like a pro woman, and like I know people in the comments, you know what I mean, like Flea, do you want to be told what to do? If you was in Iran right now, you wouldn't be able to talk. You wouldn't have your podcast. You wouldn't be able to do anything that the luxuries you have here. Now, if we go over there, we'll be liberating those women to have the same freedoms you have now. So there's good things that will come out of this. Like, you'll bring up the quality of life over there. Only the big cities in Iran live, and they live like a 60s or 70s kind of living. You know what I mean? Like they're not up to date. So if we do regime change it, and we can get our people in there, which again we control. It's another benefit for us. We're controlling this country south of China. Maybe the byproduct of that is their society and the women and everything involved can get an upgrade to today's standard, and they're not living like it's like 70, 80, 90 years ago, or in some places hundreds of years ago. Right. Running water, school systems, bus system, like the whole infrastructure of what we have here in Western life. It could be it's an upgrade for them. So I mean, two things can be true. This is why I say two things can be true at once. I wonder why government's using to get people interested, bro. You said it within there. Like, it's just a new, bro. That old way of like serve your country now and you'll be like, bro. That shit don't fly with no one nowadays. And these people that are marketing know this, and they're looking at what you guys like to do. Like you give your data up to your phones, so it tells you with you can compile like, all right, if this demographic of people.
This person's into this and that. Let's market it.
I'm going to focus a message. I'm going to put it anime characters. And again, I'll just be stereotyping. If you're an anime character heavy watcher, that means you're not out doing shit. You're home watching it on your computer, your phone. You're not being active. So again, coming from like a point of let's not go for the people that are active in society. Let's go for the people who aren't doing shit. All right, let's try to get them into let's get them a role. Let's get them something to do with life.
He put, someone made a petition that gains attention to draft his son Barron. Just saying. It's not like a petition going to get him drafted. You can have everybody in the country vote for Barron to go serve. It's not going to happen.
Everyone keeps saying
Good luck with that.
But you guys do realize, right? Like when he turned 18 and to be able to vote, he had to sign that piece of paper. So
Right.
he is eligible to be drafted. However, there hasn't been a draft in almost 100 years. Drafts only happen when our armed forces go to war and we get depleted and we need to fill the reserves back. You know what I mean? Like that's when the draft happens, bro. So like to even get there, it's like
how back in the day we like used a lot of mercenary soldiers from different countries, and we've always liked to, even currently with funding Ukraine, the proxies.
Oh yeah.
So I think with a lot of these land grabs with Shields of America, we're going to put this in some fine print deal. Like, hey, you want to use our missiles and all this shit to protect your country, and we'll make sure we got a shield around you guys and you're good. We're going to draft y'all into this shit. So y'all going to have to put some soldiers in. And we're going to have a lot more soldiers because the population in the Americas, I think we discussed it when I first mentioned this big three idea with Russia, China, and America, that China's population is 1.5 billion. But if we put all the Americas population together in this hemisphere, it's 1.7 billion. And now we got 200,000 more people. Numbers matter, especially when it's workforce, it's soldiers,
consumers, bro. Think about the everything goes to money, right? Think of the commerce now.
Mm-hmm.
You could effectively build another China in South America and completely wipe them off. You would economically destroy them because China's biggest thing is everyone buys everything from China because they could do it dirt cheap. If you went down to one of these countries and started building these factories and built manufacturing itself, and now it's in this Shield of America thing, and you have 1.7 billion people buying primarily from that, China would collapse, bro. That's 70-80% of the economy would be gone.
And then China wouldn't focus on anything with us. They would be too busy defending themselves. We wouldn't worry about them because we will be triple the size of them in strength. So we're not going to. I think that's where the Americas will probably fuck up again. And hopefully we learn from our mistakes. And I think that's when we'll stop paying attention to China for a little bit because we're like, hey, we're so much advanced again. Look at all the land we got, all the minerals. And then that's when China is going to start growing in Asia. And we'll probably give up Taiwan instead of being over there because we'll be like, hey, is Taiwan really worth it at that point?
As soon as we get that, bro, the minute that factory is up and operational over here and they're not needed anymore, I feel like that's really what's holding them back. I feel like China and the U.S. are like, listen, we're not going to get involved with it. We're going to posture like we are. soon as that fucking thing is out of there, you're good to go. I don't know nothing about nothing. You know what I mean? Like just like this, like a high school principal and two people fighting. I don't see nothing. You know what I
Now,
mean?
Matt Scott put true. It has to be a collaborative effort, otherwise it ain't gonna happen. Just remember, if we don't fight back for our rights in our country, we will turn into communist China with a social credit system. That's the future of America with tech now, if we choose not to act. And then he also put, our technology is already leading in that direction, control ripped out of our hands and given to the rich and powerful. That's going to happen with the technology anyways. I think that we're going to have a hybrid government and economy. Look at, we're already trying to, look how popular, even though it's still subculture, Bitcoin got and cryptocurrency got. Bitcoin tracks you. You know what I mean? It tracks the payment. It has all different transactions. That's why people bounce it from a bunch of different Bitcoins when they try to do some hacker shit or something like that.
Yeah, they have multiple wallets or multiple different blockchains.
Right, because the blockchain does it. Wait till we. All right, there's always.
Wait till that becomes the currency. Wait till that becomes the how I say it, like the structure of currency for everything becomes that. What you're saying,
Because it would only make sense. Look how many people already don't use cash. They have cash, but it's in the bank.
Yeah,
and they use a debit card or a credit card.
That you don't even have to. First you had to swipe it, and then it was the chip shit. Now you just tap the fucking thing. Now you even need your card. You put your card in your phone. You can take your phone and wave your phone over the fucking. I've seen that shit over the fucking thing, and it just takes the money away. I'm like,
and now you have the same thing with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin can also be like stock market type shit. So the stronger we are, the more your money's worth. So now it's more of a game for people and a gamble. But I think that's what they're going to put our economy towards. Use the stock market idea and then trace our money. You don't think the feds are tired of fucking trying to track down people's money?
Well, if you really think about it, bro, it's really like a burdensome in a really archaic way. Think how much time and resources it takes to chase after that. Just like you're saying, bro, it's a massive loss. It's a net loss.
Fucking FBI every year has got to track funds. They got people over there.
That could be tracking serial killers and shit. But their resources, they could be doing some other shit. And how many people, and the other thing, dude, is nobody wants to say this, but the black market on that, like paying people in cash where there's no tax coming out, that's a much bigger, there's probably, I don't want to give a number because I really don't know, but there's a huge portion of our economy that isn't accounted for due to that. You go to what you're saying, which is what the U.S. If Trump's already working on this, that's the USDS thing. That's the United States fucking coin that they're working on. Pretty soon they're gonna get rid of everything, and it's all gonna be on this kind of blockchain system to track every single thing you're doing. And then paying people cash doesn't exist anymore because there is no alternate form of currency to pay somebody unless you're gonna do it through Bitcoin or some other one of those ways. But it's going to dramatically drop down that black market so much that it's going to be almost non-existent. That's going to get added back into the economy.
Yeah, there'll be so much coins. That's when they'll regulate the coins, and then you'll have only a handful of coins. I forget what country it is. I think it's El Salvador. Their whole economy or some shit is Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is one of them fucking things, yo.
So they got the cards for the Bitcoin and all the crypto shit, and they can be tracked. The government loves tracking us. If they are like, hey, we can, instead of fucking cash where somebody hid it in their mattress and I had to find it the fucking old school way, I can just track it by the blockchain. I know everywhere it went.
Yeah, you're right. El Salvador.
So it's like, it's already it's becoming a thing. And it's kind of like the Meta glasses, how you see a bunch of these people now, they starting to get the Ray-Bans with the Facebook on it. Google Glass came out like 15 years ago with a pair of glasses trying to do the same shit. It's just people looked at it like, I don't know what this is. It was too early.
Yeah, they weren't ready for it yet.
Now that we're ready for it, people are consuming that shit. We still not ready for the cryptocurrency. We slowly getting it away with our favorites. And one of the favorites in currency, pennies. You know what I mean? see a penny on heads, pick it up. You know what I mean? Lucky penny.
You want to know what nobody's talking about with that shit? I was talking about. It's funny you said that, bro. I was talking to my kid about this shit the other day because we seen one of them signs that was like, we don't have due to the pennies thing. And I said, it's funny. I said to my kid, I go, how do they round up? Is it always rounding up, or do they ever round down? You know what I mean? If it's like,
it's never rounded down.
No, it's always rounded up. And I said like this: imagine 3 cents to me, 2 cents to you, 4 cents, whatever the fucking the thing is. It has to be like 1 to 4, obviously, because they have said the nickel. So whether it's 4 pennies, 3 pennies, or 2 pennies that you're not, or even 1 penny, whatever it is you're not getting back for that one transaction, they know you as a person is going to be like, whatever, dude, 3 cents, I don't care, 2 cents. Right. Look at that from a grand scheme of that's every transaction from every person that happens every single day. That accumulative is going to be billions of dollars a year taken away from us by pennies,
put back into the economy, put from the businesses.
Yeah, but I still don't like the fact that they're taking from you without, and then they're reaching their hand in their pocket and taking from you, and then like, good boy, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucked up. I get it, 3 cents, but 3 cents.
That's gonna make everybody switch to their cards.
And that's and that's a transition that you want. Is that no?
And now they have to get people with the program, but they have to put training wheels on the bike.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they're like, hey, guys, we're done with cash. We've been done with cash for a while. We gave you this card. You used it sometimes, but you still use cash. We let you just tap it. And it's still not easy enough for you. You still want to play with Benjamin Franklin. Okay, great. We're tired of printing this shit. We keep telling you it costs so much money to print this. Can we just get away from this and do it like electronically, like we do everything else? Thanks.
The excuse is stupid to me. It's like, oh, it costs more to make these than they're worth. Well, okay, I'm okay as a taxpayer going, oh, we're going to lose $2 million a year printed pennies because that's part of our currency. Like, that's an expense. That's a byproduct of our economy.
Well, that's when the consumer market should be changed with pricing, where it should be in 5-cent increments, since that's the smallest piece of currency. It shouldn't be in pennies in increments anymore for money transactions. That's how we erase that. But all of these businesses are eating off it, like you said, billions of dollars. And until us, the Americans, be like, hey, that shit adds up and the economy's already tough, where's our fucking money going?
Nobody's going to say that, bro. And they don't get it. They don't. Right. I thought about, bro, every transaction from every person every day. You know, like, bro, you can Google that on an estimate. How many transactions there are in a day? And then on a low end, multiply that by 2 cents or 3 cents.
Bro, check this. I go to the casino, right? The vouchers, when you cash them out, at the voucher machines at the casino now, there's a stack of vouchers all the time of pennies, just cents, that they can't give you in the coins and when you cash your money out because there's no coins. So you'll see slips there, 4 cents, 3 cents, 2 cents, 4 cents, 3 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent. And people just gotta leave their pennies there.
That adds up fast.
But then that's when the casino takes those slips, the workers, and they put it back in the machines. And they put that money back into the safe of the casino. You know what I mean? So
it's like another tax, bro. It's like another tax without being taxed.
Yeah, without telling us. And they just snuck it by us, and we
no vote, no nothing.
We're too entitled and dumb to realize that they just taking pennies from us. And they're ones that we do realize it, we also realize it and be like, hey, there's nothing we could do about it because there's no strength in numbers. Brandon said, not sure what casino you go to. Wow, Bally's and Tiverton. All the coin slips, all the vouchers, they don't give pennies anymore and change. So how they gonna give you 3 cents? They're gonna chip off part of a nickel for you.
Now you know what's turning to it, but at some point it would be like now you have an account there with your name, right? And every time you there's an account under Aaron All Niter, and if you put $500 in, and you say you and your wife go there and you only spend 250 or whatever, those slips you put back in, and then it keeps, so you don't really lose your penny. It stays in your account, and you'd have to accrue over 5 cents in order to pull a nickel. You know what I mean? You don't.
Well, that's if it's like free play that's left, but you don't really put the money on your card. I mean, you put your card in to accrue points and shit to earn free play, but the money you put in, so they give you a voucher slip, and then the voucher slips, like, you got to be real careful with that. Don't touch nobody else's voucher slip. That's stealing. They will like arrest your ass, kick you out, all types of shit. So like, yeah, I remember the first time in the casino seeing like a slip just sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck? And then my wife was like, yeah, don't even try to put that in the machine. They will come over here and arrest you quick. It's like, yeah, okay, shit. So, yeah, they really, protects the money. Yeah. But I look at it like this, and they can't give the pennies. So they making bank off that, and it just goes back into the casino. Because it's not the work, like the workers will collect the slips, but they're not collecting the money for it. They're
not putting that money in their pocket. It's not like they can collect slips and at the end of the day go, oh, I got $22 today and fucking dimes,
they're putting that money back into the house, and the house is collecting all those slips. So the house is basically taxing the pennies now because of that.
What the fuck?
Root Vegetables said, you look like a pair of guys who shoot weak loads. I love when vegetables worry about the size of my load. Wow. That is the most gayest shit ever.
Oh my god.
Pause.
Bro, that came in on yours. That's not on mine.
Wonderful.
Holy shit. Bro, I know whatever. I don't know, bro. If you want to talk about my loads, my loads are pretty straight, man. I know they be like, I be hitting my girl from the back. They still be. I'm 44, and I still be shooting halfway up her back, yo. So I don't know. Like,
well, on that note, talking about loads and all of this wild shit, we have to talk about the Epstein files.
Dun, 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 dun.
And some new allegations. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
The Department of Justice has posted online portions of 3 previously missing FBI interviews related to sexual assault allegations against President Trump. A CNN analysis previously revealed the witness interviews had been missing from an archive of evidence. The records involve a woman who told agents she was sexually abused by both Epstein and Trump in the 1980s, starting when she was 13 years old. The FBI interviewed the woman about the disturbing allegations 3 times in 2019. 16 pages from those interviews were posted yesterday, but many are heavily redacted, and 37 more pages are believed to still be missing. President Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein.
Well, of course he's going to deny any wrongdoing. But now there's an interview where there's allegations being made. And before we dive into this, the DOJ was basically questioned about what's up with this new dump of files. Why was it missing? What the fuck is going on? And they said this. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Now to the latest on the Epstein files. The Department of Justice is blaming a mistake with its coding system for the delayed release of more case files that mention President Trump. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane has more from Washington.
More than 2 months after the deadline for the full release of the case files of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, the Department of Justice has released another batch, and the agency is acknowledging to CBS News there were errors in the processing and release of some files in this case. The latest set of records include unproven allegations of sex misconduct by President Trump from decades ago. The FBI interviewed an accuser 4 times as it sought to assess her account, but the president and White House have long denied any misconduct by Trump. The Department of Justice has been facing accusations for months that the agency has been covering up records to help Trump. But a senior Department of Justice official said the delay in these filings was due to a coding problem by some of the 500 staffers who've been reviewing and preparing the release. Questions about the Epstein files, though, will continue to dog the administration. A bipartisan group in the U.S. House has subpoenaed Attorney General Pam Bondi for a closed-door deposition to answer why files were released late and why an estimated 3 million of the 6 million total pages remain withheld or redacted. For CBS Saturday Morning, Scott McFarland, Washington.
Well, then.
This is sad to say this, but this is going to turn into one of those things where this wasn't supposed to be the distraction, but it's going to be the distraction now, because it's going to be every couple of days, somebody, whether it's Trump, whether it's some Republican, some senator, somebody somewhere, something new is going to be found in this, and they're going to use this for the next fucking 2 years to just throw it in your face, to where I'm already kind of like, listen, a lot of disgusting people did a lot of disgusting shit with the kids from both sides. A lot of people at this point is like, we know the shit's fucked up. We know, but I'm over it, bro. Like, I'm just numb to it. Like, I'm starting not to care. Every time I hear Epstein files, I'm like, again, bro. Like, I get it. We get it. It's exposed. Like, you people are fucking degenerates. We get it. What are we gonna do? You know what I mean? It isn't like we're gonna get up and overpower the government and kick all these people out and start afresh. Like, it's not gonna fucking happen.
I think that what I want with this is I want everybody to be held to the fire with it. We are a law and order country. Shit, I've committed crimes and I had to do my time. What the fuck? I mean, I never did no wild fucking ripper shit, but it's like these people doing some things. It's like, yo, what makes you above the law? Your money, your power, your influence. I get it, but the law, right? So if we're gonna live by that as a country, if you don't want lawlessness in the country and you want people to follow the law, you're gonna have to put somebody in jail. A few people. You're going to have at least have a trial, whether you rig the trial, whether whatever you do, you're going to at least have to have the pony show of justice.
I think that'll probably happen at some point. It seems like there'll be at least one. There's always been something like Diddy had to, come to dish off his shit. Even when fucking Wall Street does crazy shit, they have those big down days. Usually there's some fall guy that gets arrested for fucking 12 months or whatever. He does 12 months for whatever. But usually there's somebody. I feel like it's still early because there's so much going on in those files.
I think it's going to happen around.
Then you got to build a case, all that shit. It takes time.
I think it's going to happen around 2028, around the next election for president. And that's when a lot of these older time politicians that usually go around traveling the country and endorsing the new age politicians, they're all going to be held to the fire, both Democrats and Republicans. Like, you're going to see Bill go down, Hillary go down. Well, both Bills, Gates and Clinton. You might see Trump on trial, a few other people on trial. The Harry Kissinger guy, the Lutnick guy, a few of these people on trial. And like I said, whether the trials are rigged and they beat them, I mean, they're at least going to have that smudge on their name to still give the American people faith in justice. Because if that staple isn't there and the whole world sees that, hey, you could just break the law if you got money. The fuck?
That would erode us from within, because that's a core pillar of what United States stands on for principles. You know what I mean? It's like, if you do the crime, you have to do the time. You know what I mean? And then to see people evade that, yeah.
And then, like, listen, it's crazy. And like, you mentioned the Diddy case. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, as a hip hop head and as an artist, before the Diddy case came out, I respected his entrepreneurship. I'm like, this man fucking started up a label. introduced the world to Biggie Smalls, Mace, Locks, all of these great acts, classic songs.
Bro, think about when he did it. Hip hop wasn't even a thing.
Right.
Hip hop was like this growing thing. Like it was a gamble. That was a real risky gamble to do what he did because hip hop was in its infancy compared to what it is today, bro. It's like it is today. It is tens of thousands of times bigger than it was when exactly what Aaron was saying when Diddy decided.
Like he was one of the people on the round table in the 90s of movers and shakers. He was one of those guys. Him, Dr. Dre, Jermaine Dupri, few people, but they introduced hip hop into people's living rooms and homes and the music videos. You know what I mean? All of this shit and the marketing of it. And look at hip hop now.
He helped build hip hop. He helped build the foundation for what hip hop is today. And
So it hurt me with the trial and then seeing the allegations and the crimes and all of this shit. It I'm not gonna lie. I can't listen to Biggie
he didn't really do anything. Whether you like what the fetish he's into or not, really think about what he did, bro. He's a dude who likes certain fetishes, and he got girls to do shit that he liked to do sexually that was just unorthodox. That's really all he did, bro. I mean, like he didn't.
Right. I just can't listen to the songs with him in the background saying, "Take that, take that."
Because now his different.
Bad boy. No, Diddy. It's like no. Especially like I can't even listen to Biggie anymore after seeing the video of him rubbing his cheek on these hands, saying, "Puff, you got soft hands." I was like, "Damn, bro!" It like ruined my childhood. It ruined. You know what I mean, a big portion of music.
Takes a part of it. You're like, "Damn, bro!" Like I was rooting for you, man. Like fucking
right. So like, I get why some people feel the same way with politicians. I get it. I've had that struggle. You know what I mean? But it's like, how would people look at the Diddy situation with people bumping Diddy records right now? Or bumping an R. Kelly record?
Bro, ask yourself this. You pull up to a light, you hear the windows are down at summertime, and the dude that pulls up is bumping any Diddy song. You're gonna, what are you thinking? You don't look right now. What's the first?
You're like, what the fuck, bro? I mean, what type of weird kinky shit you into, bro? Pause. Like, go. Like, I don't want you to stand behind me, drive behind me, nothing. I'll let your car go ahead. Like, no.
Wow.
Don't be near the bumper. But it's like, you know, I get how these people bat for their politician because they agree with the principles and the policies of the politics. They're like, I like what this is doing, do that. But my thing has always been this, and I've said this for months, as soon as the first batch of Epstein files got dropped. Anybody that went to that island is suspect, in my opinion. You went to a place where you knew that the dude, even though he was a genius with money, I'm not going to take that away from him. He was. You could have found another genius with money. You know what I mean? Don't get that advice from the one who's got kids for sale, who's eating babies, playing around with fucking infants and umbilical cords and doing all this nasty, crazy shit. You're literally making a deal with the devil.
Bro, what if though? And I'm again not. But what if the umbilical cord? If you eat the umbilical cord and that's the only thing you can eat, and it adds 5 years of life to you because of what you know what I mean? What if I always thought about this, and I don't agree with this, but I always like to put my feet in the other shoes sometimes and kind of look at it a little bit.
I've looked into that stem cells research. I believe in it.
What if that shit, you know what I mean? What if that shit actually like is true and like they don't want that kind of knowledge being out because then there would just be mayhem everywhere. But you could add years of life or
I believe that
is real. Like
I believe that because look how we talk about stem cell research all the time as it is, and they just took it to a higher level where there's some people that want to keep like the umbilical cord and all this other shit, and they doing that, but there are a lot of like rich people that do that. But that's something where if they made it mainstream, it probably would make us healthier. It sounds crazy, but like, and then it's not really eating babies, it's eating that umbilical cord or whatever. But if it does add years to your life, people go on diets, they exercise, they do all this thing for life. I think us as humans, we would do it as long as nobody's getting harmed or abused. But the pharmaceutical companies would be against that, and they lobbied the politicians who wouldn't allow that.
Baby's blood cured shit or something, you know what I mean? And then do you get to a point as a society where you start to like we do it with cattle, we breed specifically for the slaughter. Like, you're gonna be a meat animal, like you're designated this, right? So that's how you know we get meat. You're not like part of the free grazing ones that get to like kind of roam. You know what I mean?
I think we'll get to that point once
farm
the more
humans for the
genetic parts
babies
that we make.
for the adrenochrome.
I think that's why we started cloning animals. You know what I mean? Goats, sheep, shit like that. Mammals. I mean, we've only cloned mammals. Why? Because that's what we are. So, hey, guess what? If this body and that works and functions properly, and everybody talks about human clones with all these type of people out there, and
yeah, they talked about hybrids too. They were talking about hybrid animals, yo. Like, bro,
you see the animals they bring it back to life and shit,
50s
and
to
then
60s,
crossbreed and shit.
Hell yeah. So they were able to crossbreed animals 50 or 60 years ago. That was what you're saying now, is it? Now they're like, bro, we have just enough DNA. We can infill it with this, and this. And, bro,
Yeah,
dinosaurs, bro. Dinosaurs.
Like look at the liger, the lion tiger, and then
Crazy.
the Tyon, the tiger lion. And they're just like, all right, we're going to do a male of this one and a female of that one and put it together and see what the fuck we get. It's like, okay,
Crazy.
guess what? Those things are going to breed and they're going to become new species and they're going to be released out into the wild once we can't control them anymore. And then there's going to be different areas of the world and continents where these animals roam free. And now that's the wildlife. That's the wilderness and the new deserts and forests and shit like that, because people can't live over there because these new fucking crazy hybrid animals.
Apex fucking predators and shit, bro.
Yeah, so like it's
fucking up the
be,
hierarchy of shit.
It's just gonna be an updated, remade, remixed version of what the fuck we got. Besides the animals,
I can't wait till they bring back a dinosaur. I hope they're able to do that shit in my lifetime. I don't even care if I get to see it. I just want to know that it happened publicly. Like, it was publicly announced that they brought back the Stegosaurus or some shit. You know what I mean?
I want to see it, but then I'm scared to see it.
For real,
like, bro, we're gonna bring back dinosaurs. Like, these things are huge, bro. Like, and they're powerful. How are we gonna stop them? I mean, you better come up with an anti-Stegosaurus gun or a tranquilizer first.
Better have something you shoot one bullet in it, it drops the fucking.
Right, you better come up with that before you bring this bitch back to life. Because if not, oops, then what? How do we stop it? I'm good. You gonna bring back a T-Rex? Fuck you. You know what I mean? I'm fucking just start eating people. I seen Jurassic Park.
Right. Oh, we miscalculated the depth of the skin. Our traditional bullets don't penetrate. And you're like,
right,
what
now
the
we got a Jurassic
fuck?
Park situation. And then that generation of people's like, see, look at Hollywood predicts everything. Yeah, no shit. Fuck. If you think it, we build it.
Sometimes sometimes we don't think it through so well.
We don't. We just think it's a good idea. And we're like, oh, this is great.
We do that shit with viruses, bro. Let's bring in this fucking crazy shit that could wipe out. Let's tweak with it.
Yeah, that's all to say. Hey, that's our security. That's fucking self-defense.
That's fucking.
I still think COVID was a biological warfare strike from China that we funded. We funded the research for all of the bat coronaviruses, and they just released that shit. And they was just smart enough to fucking have the control of their population to lock everybody down. So they didn't lose a good chunk. They lost a little bit, but those were the ones that were disposable in their opinion. While the rest of the world had mass casualties because we don't eat right, especially America. And then you can hit us with the oops, it was an accident. Why would I do that? And we can't pinpoint that it was actually released on purpose, because then that would be war, direct war.
No, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't on purpose. I can't say if it was or wasn't on purpose. I just know that nothing's 100% in life, but they're fucking damn sure that it came from the Wuhan bat lab. Like they know where it came from.
Yeah, we
now
we
whether
know
or not
where it came from.
whether or not it got released on purpose, I guess that's yet to be determined.
Right,
Sure
and
they
that's
have
why
an idea,
we can't make that accusation, because now we're making an accusation on China that they purposefully, intentfully killed millions of people across the world. And then every country that had COVID deaths would be expected to retaliate. And a lot of them ain't ready for it. And at the time in 2020, America wasn't ready for it. Why do you think we sped the fuck up in our culture with at-home schooling, fucking virtual dance, fucking Zoom became a thing, all of this other shit? People, I mean, and then that also transitioned the money market too. That I'm good with cash because I'm good with catching something.
Well, you couldn't go out. You couldn't go out, so now we'll spend everything on your card. You got used to.
But even like, look at the trauma factor. When you do go out, do you want to play with cash and risk getting sick? Not many fucking hands are on that.
I do. I have a fine.
A lot of people still do, because I mean, you get charged more with the card.
Well, and even that, bro. I still think about the old school shit, bro. Not this new age way of thinking. Like they all be like, "Yo, you don't want to, you know how many hands that's been on? That's actually a good thing, because then when it's good for your immune system, because then you put now you have 10 people's germs on you, right? Somehow it gets on you, your body defends it, and it's just that much stronger for next time. It's the fact that people don't go out and don't get exposed to that shit, that when they finally do get exposed, the body reacts like it hasn't seen nothing before. Like this is some new shit, and it fucks you up.
And that's what they want. They want us to be more susceptible with weaker immune systems. That way they can shut us off when they want to, by just releasing something in the air where everybody drops dead.
Or just get you sick enough to where, oh yeah, I got that for this ailment. Come buy this, insurance that, the money loop. You know what I mean? Like the big pharma shit.
Play with that shit around. It's a lot, and I think it's gonna be a bigger game with different players and companies and ways of life. Like we talked about with the glasses. Look how much of a mainstay that is. Bro, I don't know how many times I see commercials now for that Aura ring.
Yo, yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's a good idea. I'm like, I'm getting older now. Track my health. I'm like, I looked at the price. I'm like, it's just like $350 for this fucking like little blood pressure monitor ring thing. And I'm like, I'm good with that right now. But I can see once that's like cheaper, like how technology gets. Like the first time a VHS player was introduced.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was $500. And then like once you make it mainstay and people accept it, you lower the price because now you can mass produce it.
Oh yeah, they're making enough money. They start thinking on the next model. They think, all right, how do we get better at building it? They save money here. They do this. It looks that way.
Yeah.
Like it's
so once it becomes more mainstay and cheaper, and like everybody's on it, I'm like, I can see us as humans going to that. It's kind of like a nurse in your pocket. I mean, you go get a checkup at like fucking your doctor, and they're checking your vitals and all that. Hey, you just wear it on your finger and check it on your phone. Check your vitals, whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, and know everything too. That's good. Soon we'll be able to reach it. I'm hoping to get to the point where like you can put something on you. It'll be like, this is high, and then recommend, all right, maybe you should eat this kind of food that's high in this to offset, the herbal part, which obviously big file I don't want you doing, but if it's done the right way, it'd be like, cut. This is what we know you're eating this. Don't eat this, or eat less portions of this. Exit this out. Eat this instead to counteract. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I have high blood pressure. I got to switch up my diet. You know what I mean? Like, what do I eat now? What am I pulling out?
I think we're gonna get to that point. I think, well, like, look at right now. We've both used Chat GPT. You could go on Chat GPT, give it your height, weight, age, and tell it your budget for groceries. and tell it to give you a healthy meal plan for every day of the week with ingredients and recipes and how much it would come out to in total. And it literally will be like your fucking dietitian
For real.
and give you a whole calendar worth of meal prep things with the recipe, all that other shit. Eventually, we're not going to have to use it on a device like this. We're going to either have a wearable like the rings or something that's possibly implanted in us, depending on how far people want it.
I think that's coming. I think the cyborg shit's coming.
It is. I think. Why do you think Elon keeps putting all this money into the Neuralink? He already got the monkey to play the video games with just looking at the thing. The monkey doesn't even play with the controller anymore. He just sits there, looks at the screen, and plays the video game. Like, you already got that. So it's like, wait a minute, bro. You telling me I could have some space age mind control shit? I could just do shit with my mind and like not have to do shit.
You said it earlier, bro. You said it earlier. You said turn us on or turn us off. That's literally, yo.
That's what they're gonna do.
Turn you on or off, bro.
Well, right now they try to do it with diseases and viruses and shit like that. So they didn't have the implants. And then once they get the implants, it'll be a new way to shut us off. Right now, they were playing the long way to shut us off. Guess what? We're going to put these convenience stores in low-income neighborhoods. We're going to make grocery deserts where to get healthy food, it's X amount of miles away from this low-income neighborhood. So unless you got the money, you're not going to be able to live healthy and fucking you'll live longer. So, hey, you're going to be the victim of the pharmaceutical companies. We just sold you to them by you being.
It's fucked up, but I guess it's supposed to be that way because there is only a few at the top, and the bottom base has to be a certain amount. But if it's too big, it overthrows, and the thing collapses, and it has to start again. So they figured out a way of ways of us doing it to ourselves instead of them having to do it to us. We do it ourselves, like you were just saying, like. The good food deserts, there's liquor stores in low-income neighborhoods, like X amount. Look at them like per capita, dude.
Like we need people to work those low-income jobs. But I think now,
the local people are going to eat local. So if there's more fast food, more McDonald's, more Burger King, more of that kind of shit, liquor stores, convenience stores all over the place,
diabetes, all of that shit, blood pressure,
because people will go local. Yeah, hell yeah. That's
where the hospitals are too. You ever notice the hospitals are in the cities where all the fucking fast food shit is and all that other stuff? It's a one-stop shop. And you need people to work these low-income jobs. That's why my thinking is like, okay, what's possibly next though? This is why I pay attention to China, because it's already being done. And we're in a race with them with like the AI and the fucking robots. I'm like, we're going to get it to a point where we're already seeing Americans not wanting to work certain jobs. Even if they broke and have to. They could be like, I would rather starve than work this job. And it's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Like, you'd rather just be dead broke and suffer than actually do this like entry position job? And they feel entitled to the point where I should do a better job than that. Like, I don't need that job.
Which it's like that kind of mentality. It's okay to think like that, but you need to then go out and do what you need to do to go be that. So there's also the work part of it. Like that thought process isn't bad, but it's like
knowing that thought process and seeing how America has been the last decade or so. These people ain't going to do that.
Oh no, hell no! I agree, bro. I agree with you.
If I'm thinking as a business, I gotta replace these workers. Why do you think like Amazon already got like those self-driving pallets inside of their factories, where it's literally like a pallet on wheels and it goes in all different directions and it scoots around like a electricity and a motherboard all over the place?
Was it stock its own shelves and shit?
Yeah, they got. I'm gonna pull it up right now. They got. It's it's wild, and it's like, oh, okay, they already got this, and it's like, okay, with this, and hold on, let me present this over here, share screen.
Oh, they're preloaded. All right. I see what they're doing. So
And that video was yeah, that was the first model. That was 8 years ago that video was made. They got like these new ones that move like super fast.
No, I'm saying is like
So
the chain that they run. So there's still, as of right now at least temporarily, there's still people building those, and those things. Then those people drop them off somewhere. Those machines then take them and drive them to whatever the next thing, either the back to 18-wheeler or whatever the next staging theory is. But part of that chain is taken away from that. Used to be a human, right?
Right.
Used to be a human driver.
But now there's a human that creates these fucking pallet robots, and now there's another job created because now there's maintenance on it, and probably another job because it's probably coding.
Yeah, but it took 16 jobs or 20 jobs and gave back 4. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need 16. If there was 20 guys that were running those pallets, there isn't 20 guys maintenance in those. There's probably one maintenance guy, maybe 2, maybe one programmer guy. So I mean, they lost the reduction of job, but the job quality went up. And I'm sure the person that works there is making more money than just the labor would have been.
It's like the hourly wage can go up.
Yes. Well, you're doing a different job at that point. You're not just a slub running. You're actually like mechanically inclined, so you get paid for that. Or you're the guy that went to school that does the coding to make sure these things, when one doesn't do anymore, like error this, I gotta go back in and
that's just gonna match the inflation in the economy. And this AI and robotic shit that's going to make jobs more efficient and pay wages higher for these positions, it's going to wash itself out because of the interest and inflation on the dollar because of these new wars and regime changes and territorial takeovers. So it's kind of like, look at the fucking early days of bread when it was like 10 cents a loaf or some shit like that. Wait till it's like a loaf of bread's $150. I mean, but you make fucking $400 an hour now.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds good.
In theory, it'll be good. The question is, like, a company like Amazon that does that, they've now increased their profits, right? So now their stock price has gone up. When it gets to the point of when companies of that size, Tesla, Amazon, fucking Walmart, any of these companies, when it gets to the point where they've wiped out all of those jobs and they're that big and they're making that much money, are we really foolish enough as a people to go, oh, they're going to turn around and start giving money to us for nothing, to the people that aren't doing anything? Nah, bro, the people that get, I think this is fucked up, but I think that, like, wiping out those jobs, in theory, they're wiping out those people too. Those people are going to exist, but there's nothing left for them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they don't want anymore. Like,
I think humans will backlash before robots ever get to that point. Before
that's one piece of the chain already, bro. Like that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna reposition our workforce. We're gonna do less physical labor jobs. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like that motto: work smarter, not harder. So if it's a job that we can get out of the physical labor by doing some robotic shit, we're
No,
going.
I agree, but as you get higher in those jobs, there's less and less of those jobs available for the same amount of people. You're gonna have a lot of people that aren't doing anything. Then my thought goes, this can't happen because there's literally unrest will happen. So do they manufacture a war where there's a real war? Somebody drops a nuke or something and wipes out a seismic, or do you let a fucking plague go so that it's not pointed at said government did this in the history books? It's a natural disaster. It's
it'll probably be another natural disaster that
Spanish
wipes
flu
out
times two that killed out 50% of the world. You know what I mean? Because at some point that bottom gets, you can't have those people can't
too much
exist.
on the bottom. Yeah,
Those people can't exist because too many people that do nothing, like say like idle hands does the devil's work, bro. You talking about then our boy Matt, Matt Scott is talking about like government overthrow. That's when something like that would be possible because you'd have enough people with no future, nothing to do. They all team up together and go. I mean, and these people, the government knows that, so they wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? Like they'd find ways. I'm saying like China being overpopulated. Let's the flu. You know what I mean? Let's COVID go. What do we do? You know what I mean? As a world, like, do we let another one of those go? Like another world war? Like, there's so many.
There's a lot of variables in it, and I think that right now we're just creating the robots and the AI for jobs we don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I see the Chick-fil-A, they got this fucking little robotic arm that does the fryer laters now and shit.
Oh shit!
So it's genius in a sense, and then it also does take away jobs. But
from a business point of view, it's smart.
It doesn't take all of the jobs away, but like you said, it does decrease the fraction of it. I mean, but I think that more people are gonna find money different ways. Like we've talked about before, you can ask these high school kids what they want to be. They're gonna say a social media influencer.
Yeah, facts.
When AI and these robotics and all this shit becomes so in our face, us as humans, we're gonna rebel and we're gonna want real life shit. So we're gonna want podcasts. We're gonna want people on their content creators because they're still humans. It's not gonna be the human connection of like, hey, going to hang out at your friend's house. But you're going to feel like you know this person because you watch them and you listen to them and they're a fucking human. They're not an AI voiceover or an avatar or some fucking AI generated video because we're going to be overthrown with that. So we're already seeing it. And we started seeing it like cartoons back in the day with Pixar and all this other shit. But even their lifelike version movies have that animation type factor. You have movies like Fast and the Furious where they're crash scenes and chases. They're using mad AI to fucking do this already. To the point where we watch it as humans and like, all right, that's cool, but that's absolutely not realistic. Like that, not gonna happen.
But
we're gonna want that real.
It looks good enough. It reaches the criteria, the level, the standard of it looks plausible, but in reality, that couldn't happen that way.
Right. So we're gonna want that real. That's why iHeartRadio just got acquired by Netflix for $1 billion for podcasts, because that's the new wave.
Mm-hmm.
We are lucky as content creators now to be in the early phases. I'm looking at social media as Bitcoin when it first dropped. That's what social media is at now for content creators. We think it's at its like peak because so many content creators. We haven't even scratched the surface.
There's a new wave coming. I agree with you. I know what you're
this
saying.
is when people are going to start getting serious bank, and this is how they're going to pay their bills because there's no jobs.
If you haven't figured out these algorithms by now, or at least have a basic understanding of them, and you try jumping in then, because everyone's like, even more people can jump. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Because think about it, bro. It's going to turn into that kind of consumer base. You're going to need these brands are going to be going more online to do online branding with influencers that have X amount of followers that get this kind of engagement.
like I follow this guy Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. He predicted a lot of social media things before it even happened. Like he predicted TikTok blowing up, Instagram blowing up. He predicted Facebook buying Instagram. He's all of this. So he's predicting right now the next biggest wave is live selling. So people on TikTok live selling shit, and also on the app Whatnot. He said that Whatnot did over $1 billion in sales last year. And if you ask 10 people, 9 out of 10 people, maybe even 10, will tell you they've never even heard of Whatnot.
I didn't know what that shit they said right now.
Right. So it's an app where you can sell your products, but I guess it's live stream selling your products.
Oh, shit.
So if we had a product, we go on Whatnot, we're selling our product, people are in the comments, they're sending transactions, and then we ship these orders. And people are branding themselves now with social media. Because now there's access. Before the internet, there wasn't access to branding yourself unless you were a big brand. You know what I mean? Or just a neighborhood mom and pop. But now the internet, you can be out to the world. You can ship to the world. So we've learned how to brand ourselves and market ourselves as humans and as a society.
You hit that right there, bro. We're learning to trade to make our individual self its own business corporation, its own entity.
Yes.
Outside of being you, it's like this you, and then there's like this front thing in front of you, which is like
exactly. So as soon as we master that, that's going to be either supplemental to our 9-to-5 careers, or if our 9-to-5 careers go away, that's the replacement. And that's going to be the replacement for a lot of people, especially these low-income jobs that people don't want to work and they're not reliable for. The business owners will find somebody who's reliable, and that's going to be a robot or an AI program that never calls in sick and never has to go on vacation.
It works 24 hours a day.
Exactly. So we did it to ourselves by not working hard and showing them productivity, by us slacking.
Bro, even in high education fields, think about like a lawyer's office, right? There's people dedicated to find information in books because there's libraries of law. Those jobs are gone, where the AI is going to be able to download all that information, have it compiled in one spot, and instantaneously come up with the answer you're looking for, and not need that person would have taken who knows how long to find this case law. Bro, those wipes out, and that's as a lawyer, like that field, like the law field, bro. Like that's.
Yeah, they're already trying to get AI lawyers. They're already trying to get them to be able to pass the bar. I think it's going to happen. Absolutely. And what's going to happen is people are going to push for that because it'll be more accessible for a proper attorney to defend you and give you a proper defense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're a low-income citizen who is more susceptible to crime anyways. Now, this lawyer isn't going to be biased, isn't going to just try to sell you out because they go to lunch with the DA. They're going to, they're going to go buy the book. They're going to make sure that justice is served. And us as humans, we're going to push these things into power because of our own human mistakes. And we're going to look at this AI as an all fucking seeing eye that's on our dollar that watches all, tracks all, and makes sure everything does the right thing. And AI is going to tell us, hey, to help surveil crime, cameras everywhere to get more information.
Bro, that's what the law part, like you just saying. We get the AI lawyers, right? The prosecutor or the defense. I feel like that's okay. Then I thought about what happens when they're the judge. Because now remember, when you're a human, right? And it's not a jury trial. If you're the judge and you're the one handing the sentence, you can be swayed one way or the other. You know what I mean? Maybe because, they say 10 to 20 years for X violation. And the guy's like, all right, I'll take into account this, and this. There's like a human factor in there. Maybe he seemed like he was sorry for the thing he did. Maybe I'll be a little, still gonna do some time, but I'll be lenient. Where the AI is going to be like, 17 years, 17 years. You know what I mean? Like, does it have that ability to?
I don't think it'll get that gray area, and I
Mhm.
think that's going to make society conform
Change.
more.
That's gonna, yeah, life is gonna change then, boy.
Because people are going to be like, hey, guess what? I do that. That's 10 years, bro. Nope.
And that's
I'm not
really
doing
10 years, bro. Like, that's
right.
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to beat it. And if I do beat it, because, like, and shit, I can't beat it because there's cameras everywhere. They're pinging my phone. I'm tracked with my fucking Aura ring. My
Bro,
glasses, video.
Wasn't you that said that shit in RI? There's that shit going on in RI right now? Is it
Yeah, they got the surveillance
with the police shit?
Yeah.
With the police camera. The police asking the people, yo, you want to sign your ring camera in so they can set up that virtual 24-hour. Bro, that's crazy.
And thousands of people did it because they don't feel safe. And what I laugh at people all the time once they see these crime stats on like the local police department's Facebook pages. You see all of them now. They put up their monthly call list of what it is.
Yeah.
And people see the numbers and they're like, so much crime. You break down the math like per person and like how many actually interactions there are in 24 hours of everybody. And it's a small number. But people see it reported everywhere. There's Facebook Lives, there's fucking news reports, there's people sharing a post. So it makes you feel less safe because you hear more about it, you see it.
And if that's the only thing you ever fed too, there's no opposite of that. There's no like, hey, here's a positive story about they planted a fucking tree over here and blah, 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 the new park, this bullshit. They don't,
because they know that nobody tunes into the positive thing. It's like we were saying, how you
no,
mentioned.
I'm saying, you're bombarded with negative shit all the time. Like you're saying, I agree with you. You're bombarded with that shit, and there's never nothing to counteract the negativeness. You just start to think like, oh my God, there was this crime, but you don't ever think that, there's also good shit that happens too.
That's how they're gonna push us towards a surveillance state by saying,
Crazy,
hey,
bro.
we need it to stop the crime. And people are just gonna give away their privacy rights and sign up for the surveillance state like they did in Providence, where, hey, it's gonna be safer and I don't have to worry and da da da. And as long as I'm not breaking a crime, I don't have to worry.
Which
And
hypothetically is true.
But then you also have to realize what else you're giving up and realize that, okay, now you're tracked on everything. So if you speak out against the government or speak out against these politicians, well, you might get targeted and set up for something.
And normally, if you have a ring cam in the front, you have one in the back. If you have a side, if you have cameras, I bet you money they don't read the whole thing out, but they're like they're like, just give us the ring cam.
The inside cameras.
Now they got all your access to all your shit and the audios that goes on. So you know what I mean? Like it's just, and again, what you said first is true. Like if you're not committing a crime and you're not doing anything wrong, you're right. You don't have anything to worry about. Facts on that part, but you're also gonna be hearing shit. Maybe you and your wife are being intimate and she's being loud and it's picking up on the fucking camera or something. You know what I mean? Like people have access to that kind of shit, and maybe there's things that goes on within a family that necessarily don't want to leave the four walls or people knowing about. You know what I mean? Just like
there's gonna be a lot of that, and I think that's gonna influence people. Kind of like how jobs now do social media checks. They can literally just check these databases of how you really act and your devices and tap in. You know what I mean? And they're not going to listen and watch hours of tape or footage. They'll just have AI do a breakdown.
Keywords. Or they'll say, look, keywords. Look for
Mag done. Okay, yeah, this person
did this. A summary, like you said, a summary too. A summary. Have it timestamp the summary. So at this time I know, so if it pops up like, oh, he said something about this, we'll go to fucking April 2nd.
Like the Minority Report.
Yeah.
In potential crimes.
Hell yeah.
Look, they already do that now with these feds with fucking potential terrorists. We go arrest them because the FBI spotted some email transaction or something. And then they started an investigation and stopped it before it happened. My thing has always been like, how you get arrested for a crime you ain't commit yet? Even though technically, I know in It's a misdemeanor, but it is a crime to attempt to commit a crime in Massachusetts.
My question is, how do you attempt to commit a crime? Because once you've made the moral conscious decision to go commit a crime, and you're engaged, say, breaking into someone's house, and you start walking up their lawn, is that attempting? You know what I mean? Or do I have to? Is that like the threshold? I have to kick the door and enter the door. Now it's breaking and entering. But from the time I enter said property to the door and I don't do anything, that's attempting? Like,
they catch you in the act right before you're about to do it. Yeah.
But how do they prove you're gonna?
Exactly. That's one of those. That's like a fake charge that they just throw on people if they got nothing. Just to have a police state.
I feel like that terrorist shit you were saying. I feel like they can use that excuse no matter what, because nobody's going to look into a story. All they need to do is think that you're. I'm not saying I would love to think that they wouldn't do this on a U.S. citizen, but obviously they would. But people coming in and out of this country, if they even like, you're on some watch list, right? They don't want to let you know that they know that you're there. If they want to lower you in, they lower you to the United States because you're going to do something, and then I'm going to hit you with this charge. I'm gonna hit you with that charge you're talking about, like the attempting to.
That makes perfect sense to me.
And then snatch them out and go. And now we needed something to use to hold them to get them. Now we got them. I'm just wondering, is that one of those? Is it like a Venus flytrap? They get their mouth open, waiting for the fly to come in, and then boom.
Yes, we do that now, but I think what I'm scared of is where it could possibly go. The more access we give as a society to our everyday information.
Do they start doing it to us? Do they turn it inwards and then start doing it to them? You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's when they stop policing us. Look at Providence Police having the cameras ringing this. We just mentioned, okay, you got one in the front. You definitely got one in the back door, probably the side door. You might even have one or two in the house. Yep. So guess what? You just gave all the access because you didn't read the terms and conditions. Because
it's got audio on them.
We've all been primed not to read terms and conditions over the years. With every app we've downloaded, we just scroll down and accept. So
let's be real. Nobody's reading that shit. Takes 10 minutes to read all that way down, and it's like they purposely put that font like 1.5 half
small. It's like, wait a minute, why is this smaller than ever? Did all of a sudden I'm blind?
It forces you to be like, yeah, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, so we're already conditioned to do that. So now they got access to all this shit. Wait till you, like I say something bad about a politician or oppose the government. Now, all of a sudden, we fucking North Korea and China, where it was that video earlier when they're like, hey, how do you feel about the U.S. government doing this? And everybody just walks by and not says anything because we're fucking scared. That's where we're leading. That's where we're going to. I see the U.S. government trying to incorporate China's control with our policies, with capitalism and a hybrid communism, where the communism is for the low class. Keep the low class happy with some communism shit, but if you don't behave, you get less money. If you do behave, you might get a little bit more money. Might give you a shot.
The split on that, I guess, is like where the dilemma is, and it's like I kind of see it where it's like, at what point are we so big as a society? Should certain things just be included in? You know what I mean? Because like the part of the capitalist economy is you pave your own way. You get the piece of the pie that you make. But then it goes to like the socialist part of it, where it's like, well, school's kind of like socialism. Your fire department's like socialism. The police department is like, should healthcare be part of that? Like garbage pickup. You know what I mean? All those are community.
I think healthcare should look at. We already got 911 with EMS. If we already got an ambulance providing healthcare, picking your ass up, you know what I mean, and we have the same dispatch as fire and police for EMS, it should be branching the same thing, in my opinion. There's other countries that have universal healthcare.
Absolutely,
they're healthier. It's just we allowed the influence of these companies that put shit in our food to fuck us up, to create illnesses, because they also own, you know, the companies for pharmaceuticals.
The people that cause the problem have the cure, and you can buy them both.
Right. So,
you know what I mean? Like,
and we allowed that because of capitalism. That's the ugly head that popped out of capitalism. It's like, okay, somebody took it too far
human
and
greed.
wasn't moral with it. Human greed.
Was human greed, because nobody thought about a business being so, the head of a business getting so wealthy to the point of he has enough money to influence every other area that matters, effectively becoming it's within itself as possibility of its own dictator, which was the point of capitalism, which was to get away from that. But
So I think that's when we eventually will have a hybrid economy where it's still capitalism in theory, but for the ones that like just don't get capitalism and don't get it, the higher ups, the elites and billionaires will finally start getting some type of tax, and that will go to the communism, socialism for the lower class, the basic things. And we're going to look at it as like a golden age in America, because we're like, hey, we were just able to provide free healthcare and all these other socialism tactics like free transportation, public transportation, and free this and free that. We just did it across the country. Look how strong and powerful we are.
Nothing's ever free. If they give you something, they're taking something from somewhere else. You just don't realize it at that moment.
But that's when I think we're finally, after we put some feet to the fire with this Epstein shit, I think that's when we're going to stop policing these billionaires a little bit more, because we have the access with the internet and things.
So? I don't think we'll ever get to them, bro, because they pay the people that make our laws and shit. The people that we vote in, we only have a list of people, right? We only ever have a list of people to vote in. All those people are already compromised by those people, so it's like we're just voting in who they want, no matter what.
Right. It's always going to be a wash, but I think that, like, all right, if the internet didn't make a buzz about the Epstein files, there would be no Epstein fucking committee talking about files. I mean, now with the internet, we have the power to actually have numbers. Whereas, like, before, you had to go knock on doors and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Wait
mean?
at the supermarket for people to come up like
Right. So now people are way more influential because of the internet. So you got a shitload of social media. Nick Shirley with Minnesota and the Leering Center. He went over there, had a fucking shitload of millions of followers. And then all of a sudden, you have to respond. Millions of people are talking about it. So what politicians do, that's when they put shit to the fire. That's when they're like, okay, got to give up somebody, got to do this. So they give up somebody and throw somebody at us. Like when the Epstein files dropped, they gave us Bill Gates right away. They were like, yeah, Bill Gates. But then it's like, okay, if Bill Gates is your throwaway, who's the one you keep in secret?
Yeah, exactly. If Bill Gates can take the cannon fodder, who the fuck is behind him?
Right. So that's why all of them are suspect, in my opinion, because I'm like, yo, all over you hang with the guys.
The people that if you find out about them, they kill you. Just even knowing that they exist. That level of shit, bro. That's wild.
Like, before we wrap this up, one last thing I want to say. Did you see the Epstein and Steve Bannon interview?
I listened to like 20 minutes of it one day and I shut it off because I was like, I wasn't in the mood that day to deal with that shit.
Definitely watch that and you're going to understand a lot more about world economy and politicians. He broke down something was so genius. He was like, these politicians are just popular. They have no idea how any of that works. He goes, and in certain countries, you can win control by what you are. He was like, African countries, he was like, if you're in the military or a general, you're going to become president. He was like, that's what it is. He was like, America, if you're an entertainer or an actor or somebody popular like that, you're in. He was like, China, if you're in military, stuff like that, you're in. He goes, it's basically that popularity contest. And then he said that all of these world leaders, he said Putin, Chinese president, he said India, Saudi Arabia, he said everybody was coming up to him for like financial advice and he'd break shit down to them. And he explained something that Clinton did that fucked up the economy in the 90s and we're still feeling. He said that what Clinton did was try to buy votes from minority communities and low-income voters. And to do that, he gave the banks a new term called subprime credit. So if you had low credit, he introduced subprime, and you were able to get subprime credit and get a house. And then the banks didn't. He said banks initially didn't want to do it because they were like, "Hey, these people are really bad credit. They're not going to pay. They can't afford. We're going to lose money. What the fuck? How are we going to cover this?"
They did. I know exactly. 2008 crash, bro. Bro, they took these. I watched. I dug into that exactly. I didn't realize you were going there with that. What they did. This is evil genius, bro. They would give, say, someone that made minimum wage. They'd write them up on a fixed it's a fixed rate, but they call it an arm extension.
Yeah.
What it is they find out what you make. I can get you this house that's affordable to what you make for 2 years at X APR rate, which made the number affordable. After those 2 years, it would be something like 1, 2, 3% would balloon to like 12, 13%.
And the banks knew that they were making bad deals with all of this.
Yep.
But what Epstein said was the reason why they did it was because if they didn't, Clinton did the Annie Mae and the Fannie Mae Foundation, where if you didn't do these loans in the subprime for the clients, you'd get hit with anti-discriminatory fees and charges.
He was the race card against
to do it. And then he also put money into these Annie Mae and Fannie Mae funds where, hey, you're subprime, you can't afford it, but we can also get you a loan from Annie Mae, Fannie Mae, and all this shit. So now he put those people just for a vote, and hey, let me sell you the dream. You can buy the American dream, house, white picket fence, vote for me. I make it possible for you to vote. He didn't break it down to them. Hey, you're going to have to foot this bill and you can't afford it. So I'm setting you up for failure. So now your house can get foreclosed. You're going to be in debt. You're going to be in an even worse position than you were before. So Epstein said in the interview that Clinton getting the minority vote in 96 actually set minorities back 20 years financially because of how the generational wealth was sucked dry, and now they're all in a big portion in debt. And he said that it was systematic racism trying to get that vote. And he was like, that's where Clinton fucked up the economy. He was like, and that's when it started becoming political. He was like, and every president since has got his own political thing with the economy where they're trying to play their own game. He goes, none of them know what they're doing. He goes, they're all fucking up money. He goes, that's why everything's so expensive. And
it makes sense. It makes total sense.
Bro, he said that he was in jail during that financial crisis that you just mentioned. He said he was on the phone with his lawyer on one jail call, and he said that the cord wasn't long enough because they didn't want you to unalive yourself. One phone with his lawyer, the other phone call, J.P. Morgan.
Moving money.
I was like, yo, this dude doing it in jail. You know what I mean? He said that the cop came up to him that morning and was like, hey, listen, this just happened. I'm wondering what's going to happen with my pension and my retirement. Da, da, da. He was like, so I gave him some financial advice, told him what to do. He goes, I asked for a phone call. He goes, you're allowed 3 phone calls a week where I was. He goes, I used 2 of them that day, called my lawyer and called my good friend, J.P. Morgan. And then watching the interview after hearing about all the weird shit that came out about him, I'm like, yo, he just said my good friend, J.P. Morgan. I'm like, J.P. Morgan, literally big financial guy running shit and money. I'm like, no wonder he knew how to move money because he knew what the banks was about to do. Because the most inside trading you can get is from the guy who run the banks.
All those people that know that shit, that's how they stay rich, man. They know when something happens, this thing shifted. Oh, we gotta take this money, get it out of here, get it over here where it's more protected. Like,
this is my thing, though. By 2026 and the internet, we have this knowledge that all these people do this. So at this point of capitalism, it's on us to do the same shit. It's like, okay, let's watch the stock market. Let's watch how these people are going on. Like, okay, we know this shit's going on with Iran and Israel. Oil companies, they're hurting. So if you got stock in oil right now, sell because that shit's dipping. You You know what I mean? Unless it's a few countries that are only exclusively American like that. Well, not exclusively, but big importer for America, like Exxon and shit like that. Rearrange shit. Do these same moves and we can all get rich like these motherfuckers. I mean, the info out there. We know what they're doing. We talking about it. We're just not making the same moves. We're talking about, all these people are in a rush to create AI and robots and their AI arms race. The news keeps talking AI arms race. Well, let's invest in some fucking AI, especially since it might be the next big thing.
Oh, it looks like it's gonna be, bro. Looks like it's gonna be.
You're like, the fuck? And there's so many, bro. I see in the commercial for a new one is Claude.
Yeah.
I mean,
They say Claude's alive, bro. They say Claude is sentient. I see some
there's a lot
I didn't
of
read the article. I'll tell you right now, I didn't read the article. I just read the headline and it was like, get out of here, dude. And I moved to the next thing. I wasn't.
Word. But listen, we can talk about this shit forever. We went way over today, but we chopped it up and gave you guys a bunch to talk about. And we're going to chop this up into clips and have that out for the week. So there's going to be a good amount of clips. A lot of shit going on. But we're going to wrap this up with fan favorite. It's your boy FiF Chubby. Available on all platforms. And my music video, Winter Blues. Available on all platforms. And me and FiF, you can catch us March 20th for the Terminology Show. We'll be performing our track Illusions. So if you like this political talk we were doing today, that's a political song. We'll be performing that for Terminology in the DC Lounge, 127 Friendship Street, Providence, Rhode Island. And yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. Follow, subscribe. And Flea said, and ignore the damn comments. Boo, you suck. No son love. Yo.
I know. We went on. We were cooking tonight. Sorry about that. We'll have to get better at that on the podcast. Bring them up. Baddie's time. Man, you watch Baddie Kiss, man.
No, listen, I watched that shit with the wife too. I'm not gonna lie, yo. These bitches is rugged, bro.
We watch it. What's on?
It's their own channel. They was genius. They took a bunch of ratchet bitches that are trying to rap. Okay, they're trying to create female rappers. So they put them in an Airbnb. They got them on like a tour, performing and hosting gigs. Because some of them were like those Instagram models that can like host events. Put all of these ratchet bitches in a house together. They're gonna be fighting. Bro, this one bitch pulled out another bitch's tooth, like stuck her hand in her mouth, ripped out a tooth, threw the tooth on the ground. I'm like, yo, it's for real. Like they fight.
Pulled her tooth out her mouth.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I ain't never seen no shit like that. I'm like, even with grown men, I've seen the tooth get knocked out, but never ripped out. Like that bitch ripped that shit out. It was like just pulling down on her mouth and ripped out the tooth. I'm like, yeah.
Damn.
Like the other bitch was trying to bite her and shit as she had her hand in her mouth and she just ripped out the tooth and got her hand out.
Wild.
I'm like, yo, these bitches is rugged. And it's on the Zeus network. It's like, I think like $7-8 a month for the app. But literally it's like that show and a handful of other like baddie spinoffs where they're trying to do the same thing. And now they got these girls on like Spotify and all platforms. So they got the following from the TV show going to listen to the music, and now they booking them for shows.
Not a bad business model.
It's like a record label / TV show, TV network.
Reality TV, fucking music.
Hell yeah.
Smart.
And the drama just is creating stars. It's funny shit, though. It's definitely, if you just type in on YouTube, Baddies TV show fights, and just put some of them up, bro, you're going to watch that and jaw drop and be like, oh, shit, these bitches fighting. It's a good watch. And, bro, they all like half naked titties is popping out.
Perfect. Let's go.
Like,
perfect for the chubby.
But we're going to wrap this up, guys. Follow us on all platforms. Turn on notifications. You already know what it is. It's your boy, Aaron All Niter.
It's your boy, FiF.
Peace.
Peace.
on the dance floor. Give me that visual, looking at the tie-ties, shaking like my rock guys. Dancing to the south side, merengue, chasing down with E&J. Take another shot as we liven up the spot. Getting down like we both is getting off. Full hard, never soft, never love lost. As I take you to the top, tipping top. Slide back down the bottom of my car. Sex game official, make the yaya whistle. More than 2 fistfuls, slob, choke, all up on my dick. I want you to damn near puke on my shit. Bitch, now you and your girl switch. Damn, I got a chubby. Love the way you touch me. Ride it all night. Love the way you fuck me. Bend it over, push it back. Make the kitty cat go. Clap, 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 clap. Man, I got this chubby. What you gonna do with this chubby? I said, man, I got this chubby. What you gonna do with this chubby? What you gonna do with this chubby? What you gonna do?
All Niter, street meds. Yeah. Cold nights got me thinking about the way things change. Snowfall on the window while I fight this pain. Heart froze like the city in the deep blue haze. Try and find a little light in these darker days. Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yo, I've been doing this since 98. Step up to me, I just annihilate. I rep 508, even though they all hate. I know why, it's cause I got a bigger plate. Hate, it just gas up the engine. Gives me more fuel every time I'm not mentioned. Heart froze like the city in a deep blue haze. Trying to find a little light in these darker days. Yeah, the winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do? Yeah, these winter blues. Yeah, these winter blues. What am I gonna do? What I gotta do?